There you have it, right place to be here at Mavso Sports Center, the right place to bring you a big occasion of the National Championships, the 2021 National Championships. One I would say that it's one of the most followed sports here at Mavso Sports Center. Of course, my name is Fabrice Umson and I will be bringing you live edition of this year's National Championships under the athletics. I would say a lot is at stake today. We would see some of the things that we have not seen in the past. When we talk about athletic association, I'll just give you a short background to say that it's an association that was established back in 1968. So one would say over 50 years that the sport has existed here in the Kingdom of Eswatini. So we'll talk about that. Also look at the main event itself today. When you talk about national championships, you talk about an event that declares and gives us a direction to whoever is going to be representing us at the international competition. It could be your Olympic Games. It could be your Commonwealth Games. This is the stage that local Eswatini, future, athletes have to show us what they are carrying. Now, the edition one I would say that is
who's going to come up after these guys that we've had over the years, so over 10 years of dominance. So now we want to see who's going to raise his hand up when we watch the 100 meters, also the 200 meters as well.
Beautiful stuff from Shengu. Maybe just to give a short version for who just joined us. Platforms. It could be on YouTube. You find us there. We are live. You find us on Eswatini television app. You can also find us there. And in your comfort of your seat on Skuchan. Mshengo, just to give a short, also maybe I would say a brief background of what happened in the morning. I mean, we saw the likes of high jump.
Eswatini Television, in partnership with Junior Achievement, brings you season 2 of Dream It Achieve It.
Lwati ngebhizinisi usiplanning ibhala kanjani ibhizinisi ifuna ini ndakuthola nokuba nje abantu sinto kakhulu.
Be empowered with marketing skills in your business and entrepreneurship so that you can prosper and build our growing economy. Watch Dream It Achieve It season 2 coming soon on Eswatini TV Sibubo Semaswati.
And running against others. So that's what we have missed in the morning. But I'm sure this afternoon session is also going to live up to expectation, because those that were in different hits are now going to come together. And we're going to have one champion that we're going to see.
Now, this is the light on its own. This is what you have to see today. The National Championships, Athletics Association. Now, we talked about the existence of the sport itself. Over 50 years ago, this sport was established in the country. We're talking about now the edition that is being played under the current conditions of COVID-19. COVID affected kakhulu as an association. 2 build-ups were held on 27 April. There was the first build-up, 8 it was the second build-up, and those build-up were made to prepare the athletes for this edition.
Yes, of course. We have to really applaud the athletes for being able to deliver what they've delivered that we have seen since the morning, in respect of the fact that we're not able to train as well as they could have, and also the clubs for being able to bring us these masses of athletes that we witnessed today and the performance that they presented. And yes, we don't take lightly what we went through because of COVID, and for the association to be able to organize the national championships under these circumstances is really, really, really massive. And we really hope that this will come to an end pretty soon, so that we experience proper performance with well-planned training opportunities. And of course, what we miss, what this COVID has taken away from us, we are not able to see your 5,000. We're not able to see your 10,000 on the track. And your long jump is also missing because of this COVID-19 protocol.
Msheng, I'm looking at the program. I think when you look at on the surface there, I'm seeing some athletes being lined. Maybe just to give us a short background, what's happening currently? What are we seeing right now?
Yes, what's happening now is the start of 400 meters women. And it's a 1 lap. Of course, with the national record holder being Pumlile,
yes,
who is not taking part in the 400 anymore.
Yes,
and we'd like to see the police are really dominating this event. Yes, as we can see, we see Futi there.
Yes.
We also see another athlete coming from reps.
Yes,
with the athlete from Great Lesotho, a young star. It's wonderful when you see young stars taking on these big guns.
All right. It's a mixture of different athletes from different clubs. The age group, and from what we're saying, what can you tell us, Msheng?
What I can tell you, of course, with the other clubs, generally when you've got Mhlatane, we expect young athletes. With Great Lesotho, you've got young athletes, and then you've got reps, which is the police team. They've got your senior
the energy
athletes.
From the two ladies in the front. The energy from the two ladies in the front.
There we see Futi. Futi is also a football player. She's doing wonderful.
Wow.
And it's just going to be 1 and 2 to the police, followed by Great Lesotho signing there.
Wow. Beautiful stuff.
Oh, sadly, one of the athletes just fell. She's really struggling. Futi. So now we've got the athlete from reps getting position 1, and the athlete from Great Lesotho getting position 2.
Yes.
Oh, it's sad indeed that she fell just before she could
was
reach
too close to the final destination.
Yeah, it's the toughness of this event, because you always have got to time your round, you've got to time your effort when you're going to push and all that. If you fail to distribute very well, you struggle at the finish.
All right. This was the finals. What does it mean now from there? Now, take us through this hit we just witnessed. After this hit, what we've just witnessed.
What we've just witnessed, I think, from here, these athletes that have got position 1 and 2, they are going to be given medals, your gold, your silver, and your bronze. But before we even reach there, we are going to witness the 400 meters. The beauty of the 400 meters that you're going to witness today is we've got to know that the national record holder is not here.
Yes.
He's not taking part in this event. And we are likely to have a new champion being crowned, which is going to be the same thing that might happen also in the 100 meters. Not that it might happen, it's going to happen because our Swazi Bolt didn't participate in the 100 meters final because he was not there in the build-up in the 100 meters. So he had to miss the 100 meters final. So right. The same thing, we're going to have new champion in the men's 100 meters, new champion in the 400 meters men.
Wow, beautiful stuff lined up for us. And of course, you can see the athletes being lined there. Now, talking about the athlete there by the name of Futi, what can we say now? I think what's in her mind right now, it's that the fact that she lost and she was at the final destination. I think it's more of the frustration that she's going through, as we can see her laying down there on the track.
It's definitely frustration on the athlete, but you can also put yourself in the shoes of the coach. Having worked probably for over a year and being able to do well through the 2 build-ups and then coming into the finals and having this. But of course, this we can almost expect because it's for the first time that these athletes are having
sorry to cut you, she's being carried by the paramedics. How are we saying this is serious? Could the injury be this serious?
Yeah, it could be an injury. It would be worse if it's an injury. But we hope that she's not injured. But we'll check later and see how is she. Because we didn't see her pulling a muscle or touching anywhere where she might be hurt, but it could be an issue of fatigue. Like we have said, how has COVID-19 affected the training of these athletes?
Yes.
Are they in top shape to be able to handle the heats and also the finals? Because to be able to go 2 races in one day, it takes a lot from the body. So you need the body to have been prepared to be able to perform at that level.
Coach, through experience, another heat is being lined up now, as you can see that. From our right. What is the expectation from this heat that we're about to witness?
Definitely, this is the finals men. And one of the athletes who's there, one of the favorites, you have got
yes,
who has also been dominating the 400 and also the 200. True. And you also have got the athlete from TZD, who came here with the fastest time, having ran 49, was the only athlete who ran 49 in both build-ups.
Having shown us in the second build-up from Mhlaga 8, I think he provided a good performance.
Exactly, provided a great performance. And in there you also have got the athlete from Langeni in Piri.
Yes.
Is in top shape. So what we're expecting here is we expect a really a sub 15, which will be great. These athletes having run two hits with the first we had the semis and now the finals, and of course also the athlete from Manzini in Sanelo, who has moved from the short sprints, the 100 and the 2, moving up a gear into the 400 meters. We'll see if he can manage the race here.
Wow, Mshengo, I think another thing maybe I wanted to say, you highlighted that the absence of an athlete like Swaziport Somatsenjo, of course, will mean we'll have a new champion. When you look at the young men now being lined up in this heat, and maybe I just cut down there, let me just move to high jump a bit. I'm seeing something also happening far away from high jump. What can you tell me there? We know Erika Sayama is the most dominating person when we talk about high jump. Anything about that area you can tell us?
Yes, we're happy to have Erika here competing. Of course, he said that she's probably alone in the high jump. She is still the reigning African champion, because the last time we had championships in Nigeria, she got the gold medal. And we are happy to still see her competing locally and also in South Africa.
I will have to catch you, Mshengo. I think the young men are lining up. We should hear the gunshot to get them ready for their hit. But I think it's a sort of warm-up. Yes, carry on as we're waiting for them to take off. Yes.
Yes, it's nice to see her, Erika, being there jumping locally, because for the last 2 or 4 years, she has been mainly competing in South Africa, and we are blessed that she's here. And we hope that with her performing here, it's going to also inspire other youngsters to come and try to be like her and copy some stuff from her as well, so that probably we can promote high jump, not only for men but also for our ladies, so that probably in the future she's not alone. Not alone like competing, and also not alone in giving us good performances. That
they have it. They have left. They have taken off the young men from this hit. Msheng, this is the view. You have everything that you wanted to see. Tell me what you're seeing from far.
Yes, definitely. We said Njingilaise has taken the lead and is followed by Mcebom Khalipi, like we've talked about, the athlete who was in the Commonwealth Games and also in the African Championships. And that we see of course, the athlete from TZD. They are really stalking the athlete from Reps.
The shape, coach, are you happy? The pace, and look at the distance between number 1 and the second group behind him.
We're happy with the pace. I hope these athletes have managed to pace themselves very, very well.
Look at the change. Things have changed, coach. Look at how it's taken off.
Of course, it's the athlete from Manzini Club Sanelo, the one who has moved from the short sprint into the long sprint, the 400 meters. Like we've said, we are going to witness a new champion. Like here, what we have seen now, we have got a new champion in the 400 meters.
About the champion, the young man, what can you tell me about him?
The performance of the young man?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's tough, man, when the coach talk about your athlete, but I think for where he has come from and the way he has managed the race is showing great maturity.
Yeah.
And we can only hope that he stay fit and stay healthy to try to go towards the future. Like we have said, we've got the Commonwealth coming next year. We like to see athletes that are going to pick their hands up to say that we are there. Yes, and of course we can only congratulate him.
All right.
This guy who just got them the 400 meters.
All right. A short communique coming from the high jump. Apparently, there is a problem that Erika Sayama is the only, contest for the edition, for the finals. No one else is willing to compete with her. What does that mean in terms of rules and regulations? If Sayama is the only one competing for high jump in the finals, what are we saying? She's basically the winner.
Yeah. I think it's an issue that we've talked about, the issue of the COVID-19. We have to realize that Erika has been in South Africa for the better part of the year.
Preparations-wise, she's ready.
Exactly, preparation-wise. And in South Africa, they were able to train. And high jump requires that you train, you got the equipment. But with the lockdown in Swaziland, the athletes are not able to prepare themselves in terms of this event because the stadiums are closed. And Mavuso is the only stadium that is open.
Yes.
Unless you have got that material, you could be able to train. But if you don't have, and you need to come to a stadium to be able to train, of course, you need to have access to a stadium that has been open. But because of the lockdown procedure, athletes could not get themselves to prepare for the high jump. And of course, we've got to realize that other athletes are coming from, let me say, the rural areas where you don't have this material to prepare themselves. And we are lucky that she's here, and she did get the chance to train where she was based in Pretoria.
All right, there you have it. And of course, we witnessed 2 hits, of course, when you talk about what's happening here at the Mavuso Sports Center. If you just join us, this is the National Championships under the Athletic Association. A combination, of course, of a lot of things that we've witnessed today. From the moment we entered here on air, I would say to you that we've been witnessing the finals, which means whoever that is the first to cross the line, could it be in 400 meters, in 100 meters, in 200 meters. We talk about high jump. Since we've heard that Erika Sayama is alone, these are the final. Whoever that finishes first is the winner in each edition. Now, we talked about now the issue of now COVID. I mean, one would say athletes like your Subsiso, your athletes like your Pumlile, this will be a chance for them to display a good performance. We've heard in the past few weeks, Mshengo ukuthi nikonela ukuthi kunibatfolele ma competitions outside ukuthi bakhona ukuthi lolonga. Isn't it time Mshengo ukuthi mhlawumbe sivele se-asharishe kabusha new maybe athletes to start also getting news? I mean, recently you were in Botswana with the likes of Ayanda Malaza, with the likes of Msibi. These young men came back with the bronze. What does that tell you? The future is bright for the edition, for the association.
It's very bright. I mean, the significance of these championships is giving us that platform. What you're going to see, I think, was the 200 meters finals women. You are going to have there your veteran, Pumlile. And you're also going to have the youngsters. I'm talking about kids that are 15 years old. So that tells you that this championship is the championship that is really giving us the new blood. And also, the good example is also when you watch the 400 meters. We have got a new champion. We have got a young star who has been a junior for quite some time. And with him now winning the championship, it shows that we're on course in bringing in the next generation. Also, when you're going to watch the 100 meters, Sibusiso is not going to be there. The new guy who's going to get the medal, whether it's going to be silver, bronze, or the gold, and also the top 8, are new guys, are new kids on the block, and those kids are the future of the sport. And that is also in line with the vision of the federation, the vision 2032. And we're going to witness something new here.
Yes.
Wheelchair
race. And then I think we've talked about so much the importance of singasho ukuthi Mshengo bantu labakubathekile ukuthi nabe involved in everything we do in the country. This is the stage for them. What's your expectation, Mshengo? Nyathi ukuthi your experience, your understanding gives you to get knowledge on everything. What is the first edition? What can we expect from this race?
It's the first edition. One thing that we need to congratulate the association about is the inclusivity.
True.
Because we fight for inclusive. Inclusive in sport is wonderful. It's great. It's really supposed to be there. And witnessing wheelchair racing, 100 meters wheelchair,
yes,
is really great. we would like to see how our guys are going to perform, because in the world international stage, we do have this. When you go to Commonwealth Games, we do have wheelchair participants.
True.
In sprints, also in your metric distance, your 1.5 and all this. We really hope that we can only build from this. We would like to see who's going to be the champion and see the times here.
All right. Now, while we're waiting for the the wheelchair race to take off, something is taking place at high jump. We're still talking about high jump. It's being set. The set stage is being set. So far, we've heard that Erika Sayama is the only athlete competing. I don't know if other athletes are, but Mshengo, maybe just to give us a short background, the history of high jump for us. Majority are asking themselves. You can see her from far. Asking themselves, what's happening? Why is she alone? Fine, you highlighted the issue of COVID. You highlighted, do we have enough trained maybe coaches for the specific in high jump? For her to go to South Africa, it means something is lacking here in the country. That's a nice jump from her.
Yes. Let me start by saying it's...
there you have to. Sorry to cut you. Let's watch the edition of the wheelchair race here. As you can see, Mshengo, it's the first experience we've noted. But look at from right far, in a white top, black cap. What a race. What a race is being. What a race. TZ Lubombo Marathon. And of course, I think they're leading. What's your expectation, Mshengo?
Yeah, they are leading. The question that I have is how to prepare for this.
Yes.
Okay. As you can see, those that are leading, you can tell that they've been preparing themselves when you look at their upper strength, judging the size of their shoulders and all that. It shows that they've been preparing for this. But like what the commentators are out there are saying, everybody's a winner. It's great to witness this taking place for the first time. We can congratulate everybody that has participated. Now it's the onus on us coaches to ensure that the standard of this event goes up, because we need athletes to be exposed internationally, not only here, but this is a start. This is a great start. I hope that the team TZD are going to build and train those athletes. So that probably when we go to the Commonwealth Games, we're going to dream of taking those athletes there.
All right. Wow. Now, let's talk about now other things that maybe surrounds the edition itself. I mean, it's something new. There's nothing much maybe to highlight on that, but we appreciate them being here. But maybe someone who's watching at home right now, go 400 meters, 100 meters, 200 meters, hit here. The international exposure, we are good. What is the lined up for international competition?
First thing, what I like from what you've said, talking about the people at home. Because to be the champion here, it starts here, and also dreaming to be champion outside, it takes a lot. I call it the ecosystem around the performance.
Yes.
Because that's what it takes. You need the mother, you need the father to support this. And luckily, this young man that we saw in the 400 meters, the mother is there, is behind the kid. And also, you need to have sponsors around. When you're talking, they need to go outside of the country to go there. It costs a lot. It costs a lot. And the association by itself, they can't go that far. And of course, now with him, the journey, not him alone, it's also others, like we have seen in Bomtebo. The idea is to also take them to the, firstly, outside of in the region, in regional championships, also in the African stage, in the African championships, and of course, the Commonwealth Games, your world championships, and also the Olympics. Like, we would like to see how far they can go towards the 2032. Of course, before 2032, we still have got your 2024, also your 2028. Yes, where we like to see these athletes grow and have those ambitions to say they have to go there and represent us really, really, really well. And the challenge, of course, is on the coaches to change this performance that we have seen with the athletes that are here, to make them to become well beaters.
Mshengo, I think you always, when we meet, you always talk about Agenda 2022. 2032, which means there is a stage you want to reach to. Now, we've already collected. All right, I'll have to cut you a bit. Look at the high jump. That is another performance we are seeing there from far. What a beautiful stick was hit. But what can you, make of that performance?
And the performance by Erika in the high jump. Okay, I hope already she's around 160, which is what she has been doing this season. With of course the personal best that she has got is over 180 meters. I think 185.
She has a gold medal from the African
Championships
in Nigeria,
in Asaba, Nigeria.
Yeah, yes.
So I think she has been struggling with a knee, injury.
Oh yes.
And she's trying to come back from that injury, and of course seeing her doing what she's doing at the moment, I think it tells us that she's coming back. She's coming back. Hopefully, going to the Commonwealth Games next year, she'll put her head in the ring to say, I'm there as well.
I mean, attending an event of this magnitude, what does it mean for her? I mean, she was in South Africa for preparations, but she had to take her time to come for this edition. What does that mean for her? I mean, you've had interactions with her. She never misses the national championships.
It's a great commitment from her side. It's a great commitment, of course, because you can imagine, you can think of the cost to come home to compete and also to go back. And
I think she's about to jump again. I'm sorry to cut you. I want you to analyze for me from this heat that she's going to take. What are we going to maybe get
now
from her?
She's
and of
preparing.
Course, COVID-19 regulations being followed. She had to sanitize prior to that. Yes, the expectation and the confidence before she takes off.
Yeah. When you look at her right now, it's where the athlete is focused before she goes for the run-up.
Yes.
And then, of course, she has got to visualize herself over the bar.
There she goes.
Yes, there she goes.
There she goes.
Women.
Woo!
Final.
Nah, it's beautiful. But I think maybe just to give an explanation to a viewer at home, we'll see. When the stick drops, does it mean necessary that the performance was not that good, or what she did was enough to cross on top of the line, or once it falls, it means the performance wasn't good? Just to give us an explanation.
Okay, once the bar falls, it means we have lost that opportunity.
True.
So normally an athlete is given 3 opportunities to clear a bar. When you've cleared, you can go to the next height. But if you don't clear, so first time you are left with 2 chances to clear the bar. So if it falls again 3 times, it means you're not going to go to the next height. So the athletes always try to go on the first attempt. Then if that fails, then of course the athlete is left with 2 attempts. And it could be a number of reasons why probably is not able to go over. It could be issues with her run-up. It could be issues with the technique over the bar. Of course, it could also be what is the speed of approach and all of those things.
All right. And then maybe you talk about chances that she should be given. She's alone. I mean, for God's sake. One would say even if she gets to not cross the bar, but at the end of the day, she's alone.
Yes,
so all the credits will go to her.
COVID-19.
Yeah. She's alone, but the athlete of her type, the athlete at that level, international level, it doesn't matter who we are with. Of course, competition can push you, but you have got the target that you set for yourself. Like I can imagine that the target that she has got probably for as a season target, it could be 170 or 180 meters. So even though she's alone, but she's pushing at least to go over that target. So it's not a case of her winning or losing, but how has she fared against the set target that she's
about to take us through another hit, Mshengo. So I think
that would be the last attempt probably.
And of course there is Eric Sayama, and I would say based in the Republic of South Africa in Pretoria, but Swazi born, Leswati born, and of course having from an early age focused and dedicated her life to high jump. Receiving a gold medal at the African Championship in Nigeria.
Okay.
She's one of the best that the country has offered so far. While, of course, we are waiting for Erika Sayama to take us through a jump, who was, of course, waiting for 100 meters final for women. And, of course, there is a lot to expect, of course, from this 100 meters. We talk about the likes of Matlalela, we talk about the likes of Specific Dlamini. I have a colleague of myself at Swazi TV by the name of Linda Dlamini. He likes the performance of this young lady, Specific Dlamini. To him, Linda Dlamini believes Specific Dlamini could replace Pumile Nziniza at some point. Do you agree with him?
Yes, I must say we've got 2 pretenders here.
Yes.
We've got 2 athletes that
Sorry, I'm catching. That's the jump from Erika Sayama. There you go. Are you happy with that now?
Yes.
Are you happy with that?
I'm happy with that. This is the thing. When you see her focusing, already she has got that height that she's got to do. It's not about the next athlete. It's not about the athletes who are not there, who should have been there. But it's that height that she wants that she wants to achieve herself. And of course, we can congratulate her. That was the last attempt, and she made it over.
So clearly she has done it. Congratulations. Focusing now on the 100 meters finals. That is Pumulile Nzineza, of course, in the front line with the warm-up. We're talking about a possible future for these 100 meters. We're talking about the likes of Matlale, talk about specifically. From your seeing, what can we see? I mean, Pumulile, she's done a lot for the country. She's been there. She will always be there to even groom these upcoming ones. But it's getting hectic there. These young ladies are showing a lot in the near future.
It's really, really getting hectic. And like I've said, we have got the pretenders. Bongwe Mahlalela, she's been knocking at the door. Spesihle has been knocking at the door as well. We'd like to see if Pumulile can hold the challenge from these two pretenders. That we'll see. Probably we'll be lucky if it should be lucky for her if she manages the race well. But the others, with the time like we saw in the morning, they are favorite probably to push her all the way or even dethrone her. And of course, like I said, 15-year-old, 16-year-old that are there, that even if they don't finish in the bracket category, but them reaching the final is a great achievement. And of course, when we are talking like we are going to have Olympic Games, Youth Olympic Games on the African soil for the first time, these are the young kids that want to see coming up, facing the challenge.
They are taking off now, Mshengo. Pumulile in the green. Look at the pace. Look at between specifically. Look at Bonge Matlalela. Look at wow, Matlalela looks like she's set to take it. They have it. Bonge Matlalela is our champion for 100 meters. I want to believe so. That is true.
Yes,
she is our champion. Bonge
we have got a new champion.
We have got a new champion. So are we saying that now Pumulile is being ushered out of this competition? Bonge Matlalela from Royal Police Services.
Yes, we don't know. It's always a journey. It's always a journey to see an athlete coming in and see how far she can go. It's like how much is she prepared for that journey. And Pumulile, we cannot rule her out for the future. Of course, as you can see her, she's, with the experience that she has got, she has gone sub 11.4 with a time of 11.35, which is the national record. And we say her running strapped. You could think that there's an injury. In Botswana, she didn't race because she couldn't feel herself very well. She had a discomfort. We don't know whether the injury is also coming into play here. But we hope it's not the end of her. We hope she can prepare herself for the coming years. And of course, we wouldn't like her to end like this. We like her to take these youngsters. We like her to take Labos Pesile through. Because her experience at the top level could rub off on the youngsters and could really, 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 really mean a lot to them. And for her, of course, getting into the next stage of her life, maybe get into coaching and all that. But for now, we're not there yet until she say that's it. But we still believe like if she train well, she can still challenge and push and try to improve the national record. But of course, it's great to witness a new champion and all that. And the youngsters that are also were there. And we can congratulate this person, Mahlalela Bongwe, because like I've said, she has been there. We're with her, I think, back in African Championships, youth in Mauritius. She has been there in a couple of Zone 6 games. And this shows the investment that has been there with the youngsters, that later it does pay off. But
and I think, sorry to cut you, Msheng, on countless occasion when I've had a conversation with the Pumulile, she had actually mentioned that in her sense of seeing things, she sees between Bongiwe and specifically, of course, giving her competition in the near future. And it has happened today. This is the stage they have proved her that maybe it's time. And of course, Bongiwe is passing by in a smile, telling us that she has done it. As you can see how on her face, the excitement. To you, now we have international competitions. Is it right time now to start ushering her into the exposure, to say go out and represent us, go to the Olympics, go to the Commonwealth Games? I'm talking about myself.
It's the right time, not only for her. We've got to look at the future. We've got to look at the future. The future, we need to always give athletes the platform to express themselves. We need to give them hope that they also can go and present the country. And of course, with Bonge, what she has done, now she really has raised her hand to say, there I am. As we prepare for the Commonwealth Games next year in England, she's
She's
one
now.
that have pick up their hand and say,
Yeah.
I'm there.
All right. Before I cross to another edition that is about to take place, I'm noticing a short of injury. Is maybe Pumlele injured? Would one say that's why maybe the competition didn't go well? I can see her limping. I can see her, the right leg being tied with something. She was in Botswana with you. Did she receive any injury?
Yes, in Botswana she didn't race. She was entered for 100 and 200, but she felt there was a discomfort in her right thigh.
Yes.
And of course we can see her strapped, because it will mean probably the injury is still bothering. Yeah, it happens. Probably now she needs to get probably medical attention and then start to prepare for next year.
All right, let's talk about the next upcoming hit. I'm seeing familiar faces. Some of the young men that you went with in Botswana. You talk about the likes of Msibi there. I can see him on the second from on the right. I can see also, the upcoming youngsters are in this hit, Mr. Mshem.
Yeah, it's wonderful. You can imagine the butterflies that are going through those young people. And like we have said earlier, we've seen already a new champion in 200 meters and also in the blue ribbon event, the 100 meters.
True.
We're going to see who's going to be the champion. Pardon me, not 200 meters, but 100 meters women. We had the new champion. Also, the same will happen in the 100 meters men.
All right, the stage is set. There you have it. 100 meters we have now. We are noticing. Look at the pace. Look at the finish. Look at the strength. There you have it. What a beautiful finish. Coach, take us through.
Yes, it's a great finish by Banele Dlamini, who I think has taken the race. He's also one of the guys, and he really wants it. Yes. Of course, with Busiso not being there, has given him the opportunity to express himself quite well, and there he is. He has done well.
Coach, I think you correct me if I'm wrong to say that I think since 2008. It's the first, 2009-10 is the first edition of the National Championship where in 100 meters there is no Subsiso as a champion and there's no Pumlele as a champion. I think you correct me if I'm wrong, Coach.
Yes.
For the first time since 2009,
yes,
the 200 meters, no Swazi as champion, there's no Pumlele Mzinisa as champion.
Yes, you are very right on that one. They've been dominated for the last 10 years, and of course with the support that they've been getting and with their focus, their dedication in their craft, that has kept them going. And today they are not there. Pumlele was there to try and defend her tightly, but of course because of the injury, I think she could not do very well. And Busiso will see him in the 200. We'll see him in the 200 here, but the 200 is an event that he sees that he wants to really improve, work on as he prepares for the Olympic Games. And yeah, it's the first time. You're right. It's the first time in 10 years.
Wow, the stage is set, of course, here at Mafso Sports Center. We have witnessed already huge events. We talk about high jump. We've noted that under the leadership and the dominance of Erika Sayama, we've seen what she's capable of doing. Newcomers by the race of talking about people living with disability. Of course, also we witness a race, first of its kind, of course, here at Mafso Sports Center. Under the national championships, it was the first of its kind. But when you talk about the most interested hit, the most focused, where we select athletes, where we select the best to represent the country, talk about 100 meters final, talk about 100 meters final for both women and female. Subsiso Matsenjwa was not involved, and you talk about Pumlele Mzinisa, who competed but was outshined by a young lady by the name of Bongia Masheleda under the Police Athletics Club. Coach, maybe while we're waiting for another hit to take place, while we'll talk about another final, either under the discus or high jump to take place, let's talk about the area itself. And then I think this is the same venue, the track field and everything. This is the same venue where the athletes did the build-up. Yes. So most of the time I've heard teams, it applies in other sporting codes, talk about volleyball, football, to say when you train somewhere and compete somewhere else,
yes,
lama athletes la letingijimleti betigijimala for preparations. Depends the for competition wise. I mean, it shouldn't be an excuse to say the weather was not the weather was perfect. No one can call anything that happened today as an excuse. You failed, you failed.
Yeah. No, there is no excuse for anything here. Definitely, the weather is great. I mean, like for when you are going to have heats and also finals on the same day, you don't want it to be very, very hot. So it's nice to have such a weather. And of course, I think the athletes have been on the same track for the last couple of years. We've been using Mavuso, and the athletes are used to it. And being used to it is giving them the opportunity that it becomes like a home away from home. It's something that they're so used to. So there will never be an excuse for anything.
And of course, Coach, one thing I can ask you as we're waiting for the next heat to take place is the issue of this year's Olympic Games. I mean, it's an opportunity for us also to talk while we're giving the viewer at home the picture of what's happening here at Mavuso Sports Center. It is the National Championships, the 2021st edition. Coach, we're heading to the into the Olympic Games this June.
Yes.
The country still does not know if we have representative. I mean, I'm not undermining swimming, I'm not undermining boxing, but we know that when you talk about Olympics as a country, mostly we are dominated by athletics. What's happening as a country?
Yeah. Firstly, I must say, in terms of qualifying for the Olympics, the Olympic window is still open. The Olympic qualifying window is still open. And we see Sbusiso like focusing on the under 200. It's like he has really pushed himself to say he's trying to qualify. Like one time he was in the top 30, top 40 world rankings. So we are aware that if he maintains his ranking, like below number 50, if he stays in the top 40, for example, he does get that automatical invitation to be in the Olympics. So we are still looking at athletes who are going to push and see how far they're going to go. But of course, when it comes to track, to athletics, of course, so far Sbusiso, in terms of his performance, he has really put his hand up to say, I'm there to go to the Olympics. But we can't pronounce and say, right now we shall know. Why? Because the window is still open. Maybe, we don't know, maybe someone can surprise us and bring a performance that will say, I'm in as well.
I mean, he's ranked number 43 in the latest 200 meters
Definitely.
released. Yes, 43 worldwide. Yes.
Definitely, that's what I talk about. He still has got a couple of races to go to in South Africa. And when he goes there, we will see how he performs. Can he improve his world ranking? Can he get into the top 30? Can he do that? So we'd like to see, and that shows that you still have got that opportunity to qualify for the Olympics. And of course, besides the Olympics, we still have got, though it's still not clear, we still have got the African Championships that are supposed to be in Algeria. We'll see if he can qualify, if he can go there and improve his time and improve his ranking, because the African Championships has got more points, which adds up into your ranking points. So if he goes there, he can still push and probably get down below the 43 and goes maybe into your 30s and all that. We're still hoping.
All right. Now, Coach, there is another hit being lined up far from us. What are we expecting? What are we seeing, Coach, far from the right corner of your side?
What we're going to witness there is going to be the 800 meters. It's the 800 meters finals. It's women.
Yes.
After the women, we're going to have the men.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very interesting. We've got some young stars there from Correctional and also from Tlangano Track. They are doing some wonderful work. And we really hope they are going to represent themselves well and challenge the old ones, because we are really more about the youth. We're happy when we see them coming up.
Coach, we talk about 800 meters going to the likes of 1.5 meters. This is an other areas I would say we need to improve as a country. But when you talk about young men who have impressed you, we're about to see that. But what's more is needed maybe for them to be groomed at the stage where we've seen your Sbusiso. I'm sorry, the name keeps coming. The likes of Sumpumule. We know that's the two names that we normally talk about. But at this stage, when we talk about 800 meters, we also need to dominate. We don't have to dominate every time in 100 and 200 meters.
Definitely, what you're saying is right. I think when you look at the success of the country in the past, we have had some great performance coming from medium and long distance. When you talk of Malale Penduka, when you talk of Mabuza, when you talk of Bohlawe Vanban, and all of those great names, they came from long distance running. The thing that we've got to do, it comes to us coaches, can we manage the process of these guys from this age until they reach their elite performance? The tendency tends to
Sorry
be...
to cut you, coach. They're about to leave as you take us through to this 800 meters. Yes, and it's the slow pace that take you through.
Yes, they start like this because it's a championship.
Yes.
When it's a championship, it's not about the first time. It's about who can manage the whole race
At the end,
until he reaches the end and get the gold medal. That's what it's about. Because sometimes when you start very fast, like we saw in the 400 meters, you may struggle to finish the race. So we have got to control. We have got to control your horses, control yourself.
Coach, when you look at the group from far like this, it's about 9 to 10 ladies. We've seen internationally, you talk about Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia. I think body-wise, they seem to be so slim. Doesn't it speak to ourselves as a country to say maybe, is this what we want? Or it doesn't matter. Whatever body shape you are in, you can compete internationally. Or we have what it takes from this group. And when I'm looking at the body shape from far.
Yeah, it does matter, of course, but we can say it's always about the training. Have you trained well enough to be fit for that race? Have you trained enough to have the proper lung capacity, the proper performance that goes with the 800 meters?
Okay.
So that also comes into the picture. And of course, talking of the powerhouse, your Uganda, your Kenya, your Ethiopia, it's also the issue of altitude. Most of these kids, where are they coming from? Hopefully, we expect athletes coming from Tlangano, coming from Peaks Peak, like Mhlatane, to do well because of the altitude. But of course, it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. It's that year of dedication, that year of training with a coach who understands the process, who understands what he's doing.
Right. In the company of Coach Muzi Mabuza, of course, we're witnessing the final 800 meters women category, and as you can see, of course, the pace is not yet picking up. Mshengo singasho ukuthi labathi lomdlalo kangcono is that at this stage kungenzeka lo semuva nje from TZ, as you can see in a black short, can be actually the winner at the end of the day. But so far, are you impressed with what you're seeing? The three ladies from the front.
We're seeing the kick. I think now the three gold medals are sorted.
Yes,
you can see the athlete in the front from Usutu with the athlete from Tlangano and the athlete from Slojos.
Yes, Slojos. Yeah.
Of course, now TZ Dinzalo, whom we have seen on the road, is coming forth.
Wow.
Having got third in the 1.5.
Wow, beautiful stuff. And of course, witnessing the 800 meters. And so far on my left, down there, the men also are getting ready. But for now, the focus is on these young ladies who just now showed us a beautiful performance. We've got the three champions, and we've got. Are you impressed? Are you shocked? Is the winner? Is the person you're expecting?
It's very, very, very impressive, because what you like to see, like we've been saying earlier, we want to see the youngsters. And the kids that we've seen there, all are below the age of 20. And I must also highlight that at the end of this year, we are likely to have Region 5 games in Lesotho, which are under 20 games. And to see these youngsters performing the way they are performing, it shows that probably we are likely to have a very good team that we can take to Lesotho.
This is the group that is getting to competing in the 800 meters male. Coach, take me through the gentlemen passing in front of our screens and our cameras. Who are these young men, and what can you expect from them? I mean, different clubs. Some are coming from Tlangano Athletics Club, some are coming from Slojos Athletics Club, TZD Athletics Club. What's your expectation? Their names, their faces, there is skill that you want from that team.
Yes, like what I must highlight is what we have seen in the last two build-ups. In the first build-up, we saw the athlete from Reps, Kuluago, winning the 800 meters. And then in the second build-up, we saw the athlete from Correctional Services winning. That was Kondam coming from Correctional Services, winning the 800 meters. And now, we'd like to see who between the two is going to push the rest of the group, who's going to take it over the line. But of course, you also have got others that are going to challenge them. We've got others that are going to, coming from Reps, coming also from TZD, that are going to push the others into over the line. But again, like we've seen with the other races, can you manage the race very, very well? Because like we have seen, if you go past too early in the 2 laps, you are going to die. You are going to suffer. And also the athlete from correctional services as well, that is in our front as we see warm-upping with the yellow spikes. Is also a great threat in attacking the gold.
All right, Coach, I think maybe while we're waiting for them to get on the line and give us a beautiful performance of their 800 meters final. We talked about, of course, the ladies, but what I've noticed since we got here, Coach, and I think for the viewer at home, is that the dominance is based on some specific clubs. You talk about athletics club being your Royal Eswatini Police Athletics Club. Haven't seen much of UEDF, Eswatini Umbuto Defense Force. Haven't seen much of correction, but I've seen much of slow shows. I've seen much of TZ, and I think one will also want to mention that TZ Athletics Club is the club that is actually owned by the president of the association, Mr. Zakere. I mean, it speaks to maybe the passion that he puts into the club. The clubs like Manzini Club, Coach, haven't had much.
Yeah, they have. I think if you look at the 100 meters, I'm not so sure if you noticed.
Yes,
the men.
Coach.
Out of the 8 participants, there were
Yes.
6 coming from Manzini Athletics Club.
Yes, beautiful.
And you look at the gold, you look at the bronze, and all of that. Those medals, they came from there. We witnessed the 400 meters. The champion is coming from Manzini Athletics Club.
Yes.
You look at the 100 meters women as well. You had 3 youngsters coming from Manzini Athletics.
It's all about building.
I'm talking about
Manzini
youngsters.
Club.
15-year-old, and they are winning. It's not just building, they are winning. Like I've said, 400 meters has gone to MAC. Also the 100 meters has gone to MAC. Not just the gold, but also the other medals and the placing them. Out of 8, 6 coming from the same club. It highlights that maybe we focus more on the sprints, but also the high jump men, the gold went to Manzini Athletics Club.
Yes.
Also in the javelin, I think silver medal went to Manzini Athletics Club.
Coach,
So-
no, fair enough. I'm sorted. I think I wanted to hear the emphasis. I know the passion when we talk about Manzini Athletics Club. Now, I'm looking at the hit there now, Coach. The numbers there, the figures from the men in 800 meters, they're about to take off, Coach. I know for now you can expect and give us a prediction to what you're expecting. From this hit, Coach, 800 meters, single expected in.
We're going to expect a very fast start. These guys, they will want to separate probably a little bit early. That's what I'm sure we're going to witness here. And of course, like I've said, the fight between the two, the winner of the first build-up, the winner of the second build-up, and of course those that are preparing behind the scene to push these two guys over the line. We're going to see really who's going to take this one. It's difficult to call it, but Sandile Mkhonta, like in the second build-up, he showed glimpses of his old self because he's the reigning national champion in this event. And of course, you did mention the work by TZD. I think as a new club, they've done really, really well. And their president is also the president of the association. We are really happy with the work that has put in. You can see the visibility, the people that are coming into the stadium and all of those things. They've done very, very well in building the brand of Athletics Eswatini. We can only wish them well, and hopefully that people are going to support them. With their vision towards 2032, it's only possible with the support of everybody from Swaziland.
Involved, yes.
Coming from your Ministry of Sports, coming from the corporate, as well. And I'm made to believe that they're even trying to get the young guys, the junior team, to get into the World Junior Championships as a relay team, because what we have seen in the past is when you bring just one athlete, it's not fair on the athlete. It's also not fair on everybody to say we're now relying on one athlete, like we've seen in the last 10 years, one athlete dominating.
Yeah.
So now the strategy that the federation has got is to say, let us build a group of youngsters, starting with men and also women.
Right.
And the relay is giving that platform of having a group of stars developing together.
Coach, I want you to tell me the importance of this moment. The sound is off. They're waiting for the clock to tick. What does it mean? What goes into the mind of the athlete? We're about to take off. It is the national championships. If I cross as the number 1, it is a lot for me, for the country, personally. What goes in the mind of the athlete?
It's tough. It's tough because they've got to think of how they prepared for the race. Can they focus on the preparation that they've gone through with the coach to say how's the start should be? How should be your first 30 meters?
They have taken
like
off,
we have
Coach.
said, it's going to be a blistering pace from the start, as you can see.
I like what you said,
dashing.
Coach. It's going to be a very, very fast pace from the beginning. And this is what's happening already.
Exactly. Until they settle down on there is where they are going to break. As you hit the 300 mark, as we see them going into now you're going to see the pace reducing a little bit, putting themselves so that if you keep on going all out, you're going to suffer towards the end of the race. Like you see them, experienced athletes, they are still branch up together, and it's a case of who's going to blink first. We see the one that you talked about Kuluago from reps,
yes,
leading the pack,
yes,
followed by another athlete from reps,
yes,
and of course you've got the correctional athletes coming behind. And again, the determining factor will be who's going to manage the second part of the race very well.
Physically, appearance counts in this type of race. I'm looking at the athletes in front of our screens, of course. When you look at their pace, you look at the focus, the mind itself. Man, Coach, I think for one would say we've seen 100 meters, 200 meters getting ready here on the track. One would want to say, do these, guys under the 800 meters, 1.5, I mean, their training sessions are taken on the road, mountains and everything, to be able to maintain the pace. And I think the pace now is getting elevated. As you can see, the sound coming from that area, screaming from
it's
other.
It's really hotting up. In the front, you have got correctional, followed by reps, and then another reps. Another athlete like Sandy that you talked about is in the third position. This is the case that you talked about, like, from the athletes, who's prepared to knock off the guys that took the lead in the two build-ups?
I mean, you mentioned few things before this race took off. I mean, look at the pace from our number one, of course, from correctional. Look at also the second person in mind. Coach,
yes,
a lot has changed.
It's
in
correctional,
the last stage.
reps, and Elangeni.
Correctional.
Yes, Elangeni is a young athlete coming from the Elangeni High School Athletics Club. And he was the winner of also the 1.5.
Yes.
Now we have seen him coming third in the 800. This is an athlete that also represents the country in the last World Junior Championships that were in Finland. And we hope that he can build on this and probably challenge also in the future to push for international participation through his performance. We hope it will be great. But of course, we've witnessed a great race. And what you talked about earlier, what we saw in the sprints, we have seen again here a new champion being crowned. That's really a great thing to see that the young guys are coming up again.
And of course, if you just joined us here at Mafsa Sports Center, watching in the comfort of your seat the Eswatini National Television, what we're bringing you, it is live pictures, live edition of the 2021 National Championship edition, where a lot is at stake, of course, for the athletes. So far, what you've missed, we've witnessed the 100 male and female finals where we saw new champions. There is no Subsiso Matsenjwa anymore as champion of the 100 meters. There is no Pumli Denziniza as the champion of the 100 meters under female. But there is Eric Sayama in high jump. Eric Sayama still reigns. We talk about now a new face, a new inclusion, a new race under the under the wheelchair race that we've witnessed, which means it speaks to what we're doing as a country, including people with disability. Now, 800 meters, we've also witnessed male and female. Correctional in 800 meters under female, they have showed us what they are carrying. I mean, the likes of shot put, a main final is going to be followed. Coach, it's been a lovely journey. A lot is expected. We're talking about 400 men and women final. We're talking about a lot that is yet to be offered at this stage. I'm sorry to say that, Coach, under the current condition of COVID-19, the supporters couldn't be here, especially the parents, the family members of these athletes, to see what these young men and these young ladies can offer. And I think majority of them, Coach, have passed through you as a coach. You've seen them, you've seen what they are possessing, you've seen the skill, you've seen what they are capable of doing as athletes.
It's humbling when you talk of the role that we have played in bringing in these youngsters, and it's something that we'll continue to do probably over the couple of years to come, with the support, of course, of others. And there's something that you talked about when it comes to the wheelchair. It's of course in commanding the association, because It dates back when you remember the likes of Mcebo Dludlum,
Yes, Mcebo, yes.
who did well as a visual impaired athlete. He came from athletics, and he was able to get us gold medals in Region 5 games, dominating local and internationally. And also then we saw Sambulo Tsaba, who we've just seen in the 100 meters, who's also in the 200 meters final. He is an athlete that has gone to represent us in the first Pan-African Special Olympic Games, and coming back home with about, I think, 3 gold medals. It's something that the association is doing great in bringing inclusivity in when it comes into sport. And yeah, it's something that is wonderful.
All right, and of course, Mshengo, for a viewer at home, they're asking themselves, we've witnessed 100 meters, male and female. We've witnessed 800 meters, male and female. What's next now? What is the stage has to offer today?
We are going to have the 200 meters. Of course, luckily we will have the reigning national champion in 200 meters who will be there in the men, Spusiso Matsenjwa.
That's where the country, sorry to cut you, wants to see if the man still has what to offer.
Yes, and he's in top shape. He's in the best shape of his life, and we trust that he's going to demonstrate the level is at versus the other guys that are here. And of course we'll see Pumlile if she does make it into the finals of the 200 meters, because we did see that she's limping a little bit. But of course here, hopefully also in the 200 we're going to see a new champion. And then of course after Matsenjwa we're going to see who from this kit is raising up his hand to say I'm next after Matsenjwa. And we trust that Matsenjwa is also going to play a role in ushering these youngsters into the elite stage, because with his experience, he can do great work with the youngsters in helping them, taking them by hand through the process.
And of course, when you talk about final men shot put, coach, and I think I've noted one thing is that when you talk about experience, you talk about the focus. When you talk about 100 and 200 meters, I think for Pumlile, her focus is mostly the 100 meters. That's where you'll say her strength is. When you talk about Subsiso for 100 and 200, I think his strength are on 200 more than 100. Because if you look at the rankings now, if he's ranked 43 in the world, he's ranked 43 under 200 meters. It means at the end of the day, in as much as Sangashogut as an athlete, you're able to go for both 100 and 200, but you pick your area of interest to say, when it comes to this,
definitely uqiniseka kakhulu lapho kumcoka lokuthi li athlete bese liyafocus, like njenganamuhla nje kulabantu labancane akhansi abanye bebenta 100 200 but ukhanze ukuthi abasakhona ukuchubeka bakwende konke kuyophuma le dulu. And Sibusiso ngekukhula kwakhe nange-experience yakhe uyathi lokuthi kumcoka kakhulu lokufika lapho ufocusa khona, because like sithi kuma-championships ama-championships anamuhla alukhuni to avoid also ama-injuries kulukhuni ukuthi utawenda 2 events. Now that's 102. You'll end up doing 2 events on the same day with minimum recovery. And these athletes not having had well preparation due to the COVID-19, sometimes they've got to see if they can pick and choose and all that. But it's not the case with Busi, so it's like Soshito. He's really focusing on the 200. And it's an event that has been doing well over the years. And going to Japan is an event where he wants to push himself and try to push to get into the second round, because we're still struggling that our athletes have not gone from first round to the second round. And of course we like to see. And ngifuna kuthatha babukele ukuthi lapha ku shot put.
Yes, shot put.
Athlete, the most experienced athlete in Dumsan Fagutse.
Yes.
Dumsan Fagutse beka competitors naye. We remember ukuthi he once represented the country kuma World Student Games at Beijing 2001. And siyambona solo dominator kule event le. It's well over 20 years in his case dominating. It's also the national record holder in this event. And
I think, sorry to catch you, I once had an interview with him, and I think for him to mention that I think he's been in the sport since early as 1993. He said something about 1993. I mean, he's still a national he still holds the record for the country. It speaks to the passion and how he's so much dedicated for the sport.
Yes, ngawhighlighta tintfo leting two. Lokuqala lokushito le passion that he has got. And of course, when you look at his body size, he's different from the others.
Yes.
So loko lengikhuluma ngale body size.
Siyambona uyakhumula lapho. Yes.
Sekukhuluma ngathi sibo coach ukuthi how is our talent identification program? Can we identify the right athletes with the right body structure for that event? And we like with you watolagala early, having the right structure and for the event, and also with him liking the event very much. So of course, to undo or to get another athlete to push that record that he has got, it means we have got to look for an athlete almost same size or a better size than him, which means he should be bigger and a little bit taller. And of course, the coaching then comes in. But to start with talent education properly.
I'm looking at his height, the strength, the energy, having started the sport early as 1993. Coach, what is he doing at the moment? Maybe for someone who doesn't understand the sport well, what do you have to take much time in preparations as he's about to release?
Asangbegi, so Tambona with the technique like that is the technique that they call the Clyde or the O'Brien technique. And glabanye athletes awukhanza 70s leyo technique, but asisimbone ukuthi hamba kanjani. I think it's going to do the rotation.
Yes.
The rotation technique is a technique lesiyibonile kuma world champs at Doha. It's a technique lebe dominate ama athletes amaningi bakasebenzisa yona, whereby naka spin is trying to generate momentum. The momentum that he then has got to transfer into the shot, thereby pushing the shot further. But lama athletes at Lamaning Wakanza, because of the lack of training, they are not able to do the preparation phase of the shot put, thereby affecting how further the shot can go.
And of course, Dumsan Fakutse, who just performed in the final of shot put. Were you impressed with the performance, Mshem? Now, Bugalente performing with a throw yak.
I will say it's okay. He's now a senior athlete. I mean, I competed with him. We used to travel to Botswana. I was with him in Beijing in the World Student Games.
Yes.
So he's an athlete that has been there for some time. But now the level where shot put is, the guys are throwing over 20 meters. We're talking of 22, 23 and all that. But when you go into locally where he is, he's doing well. I remember Sagbo Botswana regional competition, he used to bring medals also from Lapo. But now we like, when we identify athletes that are going to succeed him, we have to get athletes that are also going to push and try to double the distance that he's throwing. Yes, but of course, athlete, his age, the longevity that is there, with the numbers that he's still putting there, I think is good.
It's good, and of course, the country still relies on the performance of Mr. Dumsane Fakutse. Now, the expectation is still high, of course, coming from him. When we talk about shot put, as we can see him, of course, putting on back his jacket after that beautiful performance. We're still expecting a lot, Coach. You're talking about 200 meters for male and female, and I think that's where everyone wants to see. But still watching shot put, the young man, of course, also putting a nice performance. Were you impressed?
Yes, the young man from Tlatane. Yes, I'm impressed. Unfortunately, I think it counts as a not throw. I don't know what he has done there, but probably he stepped outside of the marker there. And but to get him to be there and to perform the way he is, it shows that it's someone for the future. But of course, it also depends on the level of coaching that he gets exposed to. If that level can take him to the next level.
Beautiful stuff. One would say that the only way to be successful, training, dedication, passion. There is Mr. Fakutse for a second hit. Mr. Babuz.
You can see the shot start from the neck.
Experience speaks for itself.
Yes. So he will rotate.
There goes the rotation.
Generating the momentum.
That should be a good one.
Shot.
That should be a good one. That is better than the previous one we noticed.
Yes, it's a good one, but still is a not throw. I think it's out of the sector. It's still good, but of course, this athlete, it's a technical event. That's why they're given several opportunities, way more than the high jump. They've got, I think, general, they've got 8 opportunities, or they can give given 6 or 4, but it's more than 6 that they should be given in a championship, because you find that you are going to have that one throw which is going to be good in terms of a performance, everything, the technique coming together, and also having the shot being thrown in the right sector, because you've got those markings that the shot should not land outside of. Or even on the ground. You should not pass some certain lines that are there on the ground in that circle.
There was another performance.
Like now, what you have seen is a good throw from Tlatane. I must say, we are happy with the work that Tlatane is doing as a school, exposing that as these athletes into this level of competition. It's really a good thing. It's commendable. We hope other schools can take can take such, can copy such, because it's great. This is for the youngsters.
Yes.
The future of the sport.
And of course, while we are, while we are witnessing the final of the shot put, of course, we know the dominance of Mr. Dumsani Fagutse. Far at the end, Mr. Mabuza, 200 meters, the ladies are lining up. We're talking about them later on after the edition of shot put is ended completely. But we are expecting a lot, of course, from the young ladies. Probably Bonguya Matlala could pull another performance. Probably this time around specifically could surprise us, as we can see them lining up.
Yes, and I must say also the other athlete that we have there is Futi. Futi that was in the 400 meters, that fell in the 400 meters. And we're happy that she's not injured. She's there to try and push the others. But of course, the competition is between Spesihle and Bongiwe to see who's going to dominate over the other. And we cannot leave, again, I keep on talking about the youngsters, like we have seen your Mlilo there. We'll see if she can push the others and try to fight for a medal. Because it's a youngster who's 16 years old. That will be taken on this senior athlete. And of course, we are likely to witness a new champion here. As they warm up, I don't see Pumlile there. Probably she pulled out of the 200 meters.
Now, I'm going to have to bring you back to a shot put final. I can see Mr. Fagutse back. For the third time, could we expect a different throw this time around?
Yes, hopefully with his experience, this is going to be a good throw.
And of course, go there. There goes Mr. Fagutse. There you have it.
Now
Beautiful
we've seen him going with the O'Brien technique.
Yes.
We've seen the other throws. He was trying the rotation. Now he's going to back to the technique that I used to see him, which is the O'Brien technique.
That was a beautiful one.
Yes, or what they call the glide. This is the one that we have seen him using. And it shows an athlete that has been trained, that has got the experience. And when you compare him with the other athletes who are not using any of the technique that we see in the international stage, it shows the exposure that he's got. It shows the experience that DU has got in this event and why he's dominating. And of course, hopefully the youngsters, like we see them, maybe they can copy one or two things from him and try, as this is the last event of the year in terms of the national championships, as we prepare for the coming national championships. Of course, if they copy from him and then try to work on what they've seen from him, and then probably maybe we might see one of them challenging him in the future.
And of course, maybe just before I let you go, there's another performance from Mtlatane, this young man. There are only 3 so far, coach. It means by being at this stage already, you have a bronze medal. This young man, what a performance.
Yes, it's good. Yeah, it's a good throw. We can see also from the officials, when they raise the white flag, it shows that the throw is good. And of course, coming to the young man, it's nice to see that is there. And of course, we are talking of them being 3. It also highlights what you talked about earlier when it comes to high jump. Like, this is a technical event. For you to train, you need to have the implement.
Yes.
And most of the clubs, they don't have those implements that they can train with. And with him luckily coming from a school, it shows that the school has made available this equipment for these young people to train. Hopefully, we hope that other clubs can emulate what Mtlatane is doing, so that we can look at the future. Because, like, we always refer to DU Dumsani, like how old he has been in the sport.
Yes.
So it's time for the youngsters. So for the youngsters to be able not to just replace him, but to also, in terms of performance, to go above him or succeed him with performance. We need them to have the right tools and also the right coaching that can get them into the next level.
All right, Coach, through experience, of course, we're watching the finals of shot put. Coach, through experience, it's getting a bit chilly, as we can tell, at the change of the weather. How much of effect it could put through you as an athlete, as we just witnessed a throw from that young man? What does it change in you? I mean, you're getting warm 2 hours earlier, the preparations. When you're about to get into your hit, when you're about to get into your throw, the weather changes, as we can feel here. Is this something that you can complain about as an athlete?
Yes, I think it affects you a little bit, but again, you will keep on having DU as a reference point. You see him after every throw, he does put on his jacket.
Yes.
Because you want to maintain your core temperature. You don't want the temperature to go down.
All right.
Because you need your muscles to be nice and warm for them to still be able to perform at the maximum ability on which they can perform. So also, those that are on the track, they should try to stay warm, either by keeping their tracksuit on or always have some action, run a little bit, jog a little bit, so that you don't drop your core temperature, because you need that to be high for you to perform at your best.
And of course, there goes again the national record holder, Mr. Dumsani Fakutse. Look at the stretch. What a stretch. Look at the preparations. Look at the focus. There goes the throw.
That's the O'Brien.
Wow, they have it. Beautiful. Are you
That's
impressed?
a massive one. Okay, he stepped in to show that it doesn't like it.
Yeah, that's the red that shows that it won't count.
Yes, it won't count. Of course, the athlete did step in to say he doesn't like it, so
the return for him to wear a jacket, it speaks to what we were saying.
exactly.
Temperature was keep the core temperature for you to avoid any drops.
And of course, that makes a difference between the experience and the less experience. If you look at the youngsters, they are sitting down, no warm jackets on. It shows the level of experience. And of course, it's also the duty of us coaches to bridge the gap between the less experienced and experienced. As we work with the inexperienced athletes, you always have to be there. You have always got to advise them to say, keep warm, stay warm, because it's really, really critical. Sometimes you can get injured if you just come from being cold and then expect the muscles to perform such an explosive movement or action.
They have it, and of course we are still we're still watching the finals of the short put, and of course that has put on hold the 200 meters. They have it, they have left 200 meters final women. We talked about the likes of Sife Dlamini, Bongiwe Mahlalela in the front line. Of course, all these two, look at the pace between the two, coach, Bongiwe Mahlalela and Sife. Look at Bongiwe. Look at Bongiwe.
Who wants it the most?
Who wants it the most?
So you've got Spesihle, you've got Bongiwe Spesihle, the youngsters, and also the other reps athletes, and TZD athlete, and hopefully great Usutu athlete.
Mahlalela is the champion, coach. 200 meters and 100 meters.
Yes.
She's won both.
Yes.
She's our new Pumulid.
Yes. 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 Yes.
As a coach, what can you say? The national team. You're the coach national team.
It's really wonderful. We are happy. It's very exciting. Like I've been saying this since we started to say we're going to witness new champions, and this is what we want as coaches. It shows that there is work that is being done, and of course the coach working with the athlete has done a wonderful job. Mr. Ngabinde is doing a great job working with this athlete, and it's really refreshing, and the patience that she has shown over the years. The passion that because she has been following after Pumlile for the last 5 years.
As number 2.
She has been happy to knock. She has been happy working on her craft. And today, she's being rewarded with 2 gold medals in both 100 and 200. And of course, Spesihle as well has done really, really great.
They have it. We just witnessed the 200 meters final, where Bongiwe Mahlalela, who took the stage for the first hit of the 100 meters as champion, of course, beating the likes of Sife Dlamini and Pumulile Nziniza in the 100 meters. She's also come again to win the 200 meters. I can see the smile on her face, coach. She just passed near our studio stage here. I mean, a lot is at stake. We are still yet to see what will happen now in 200 meters final with the male now, where we are expecting, of course, Subsiso Matsenja, who didn't compete in the 100 meters, but now he's going to compete in the 200 meters. But while we're waiting for them, coach, I want us to shift back again to, shoot put finals that are still ongoing. As we can see, Mr. Fakutse, you were correcting him, talking about his caliber, his experience, his strength, his height, his energy. And the exposure. This is a stage. He's been to bigger stages for him to compete here.
Yes, he has been in the bigger stage. He has been in, like I've said, World Student Games, as close as it gets to the Olympics. He has been to the regional championships. Great performances. He was getting medals in his prime. And he has been dominating over the years. And that speaks to the value of the man that he is. Yes, it's really, really wonderful. And there's something that I must say. We've been talking about the issue of COVID-19 with parents not being here. We are happy that Swazi TV has come through and is parents can relax at home and watch these championships. It's really great.
Sesaba Eswatini TV, not
Yes.
Sesaba Eswatini TV. Yes.
Thank you. It comes with being old. It comes with being old. Eswatini TV, of course, and we're really happy. It's really exciting, and the value of that, I can put it for you. We like to see kids knowing where they can go and have fun. I mean, clean fun, and Eswatini TV is doing a great job. Like we see in South Africa, we have seen SuperSport now coming and saying, well, they are going to screen school sports activities. It's good for the youngsters. When we go and do talent education, they also want to see their peers on TV. And the kids, they want to see themselves on TV. The parents want to see these kids on TV. I mean, what Eswatini TV has done, it's really groundbreaking. We hope that it doesn't stop.
Wow, you've heard it live here on Eswatini TV under the commentary and leadership and the company of national team coach Muzi Mabuza. It is groundbreaking what has been done by Eswatini TV. We have done a great job. Now, the young men under the 200 meters, of course, there's the likes of Subsiso Matsenjwa being experienced. They have lined up for the 200 meters. Coach, I don't want us to focus about Subsiso.
Yes.
But there is other names there. What can we expect in this hit, the 200 meters men?
Is the youngsters. We have got Mtinseli, who I think he also medal in the 100 meters, who I think had accompanied also the youngsters to Botswana. He's doing great coming from TZD.
Yes,
we also have got Ayanda, who just did a
Malaza,
PB.
yes.
Ayanda Malaza did
Yes.
a PB at 10.8
You've got
in
Msibi.
Botswana. We have got MCB. Of course, we can see he's strapped. Of course, the injury is coming into play. And we've got Kaba Sambulo, who
Yes.
is the athlete that was in Egypt with the Special Olympic team. We also have got Ngobizwe, of course, also in lane 2, and another TZD athlete in lane 1. And we like to see, again, we keep on saying, who's going to pick his hand up behind this senior athlete and say, I count.
All
and
right.
from these youngsters, want to see who's going to go and represent us in Kenya in the World Junior Championships. Who's our hopeful going into Region 5 games in Lesotho in December. It's going to come from these youngsters.
All right.
That we have. So the future of the sport is really bright because we are talking of 18-year-old, 17-year-old.
Wow, you talk about the future of the team. Now, they are lining up for their biggest occasion of the year. The blue one in the middle there, you can see the height, you can see the body language. That is a Subsiso Matsenjwa for you. I'm sorry, we're going to have to do things here by using the word do things. We're going to do it at the same time. There's shot put happening on the left, but for now, coach, I would like us to focus on the 200 meters. They're about to leave. Look at the strength.
Off they go. Look at the great start. Already he's into the.
Look at Matsenjwa.
Bridge. He's taking everybody. He's disseminating the field.
Look at Matsenjwa.
He's disseminating the field.
Wow, what a speed. Matsenjwa. This is why he has got the name of
And there's the
world
young
record,
pretender. The young
Swasiport.
pretenders there.
Yes.
Coming behind.
Oof. Wow, groundbreaking. What's happening? Wow, beautiful stuff. Coach, he still has it. As our number one leader in the country. He still has it.
He still has it, like I
mean,
said. He's in the prime. He's the prime. When you look at the numbers, the 200 meters, he set a new national record this year. That shows the level he's at. In the 200 meters going into the 10-4s, it shows the level is doing 10-2s. It shows the level he's at. So he's doing really, 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 really well.
And the distance he kept between himself and a second person and the third person in the race. Coach, 200 meters, we've witnessed that. We've witnessed his exposure, his experience, his energy and everything. We are, of course, have a lot to happen on our lineup. And, of course, the shot put finals haven't finished, as you can see from far down there. As we can see, I think they're still, sorting out a few things there. But we should expect also a winner from that competition, of course, headed by Mr. Dumsan Fagutse as one of the experienced, athlete in this area. Now, Coach, what a journey it's been, what a day it's been. We've been shocked. The stage is set. The country has the potential. The country has the talent, Coach. Under you, as a national team coach, you have a lot to offer. This is your product, Coach. This is what you offer. What can we say?
Yes, indeed. We, like I'm saying, when you see these young stars, I mean, when you look forward, when you look towards the coming Commonwealth Games. It's exciting when you look. 2023 will be having All Africa Games. It's really, really exciting when you see these young stars. But of course, it becomes a challenge. It's a challenge that we like as coaches to say, what can we do with these guys that we have seen today? Can we really get them to go towards Busiso? Like I've said.
Sorry to cut you, Coach. Talk about Busiso. I'm looking at the body strength, the language. He seems to have added a bit of weight. Does it work as an athlete to try to work on the energy and have more strength? When I'm looking at the body structure, there he is in front of you.
Yes, it's of course not just body weight. You look at this, it's the muscle mass. It's the muscle mass that you witness there. He ought to be at that shape, and the numbers are speaking volume of the shape that he's at. And this is a result of working in the gym. It's a result of eating well. It's a result of resting as an athlete. So it's really, 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 it really shows what a top-class athlete should be.
And Coach, when you talk about him being a top-class athlete, the question still remains, we've seen a substitute for Pumile Nziniza. It could be, the future could be in the hands of Bonye Matleya. In your own experience, Coach, in your own view, not to decorate him a lot, who is at the right place right now, in the right condition to take off his cap?
It's I don't want to say it's still tough. I like the fact that he's dominating. He's an athlete that is good at listening and taking in what you tell him. Like I've talked about in terms of recovery, because he's able to stay at the top for this long because of his discipline in terms of what he eats, his discipline in terms of him having the right rest, and of course not taking away the performance of the youngsters. To your question, your number 2, your number 3.
Okay.
Are great people that are coming through. If you talk of Mkinsele at the age of 24, you talk of Ayanda at the age of 18. These are people that have medal behind him.
All right, Coach, sorry to cut you. Something is being staged here. What are we expecting? What's happening? And we can see the Minister for Sports, of course, coming down to award those who have outshined others in the event, of course, today here at Mafsa Sports Center.
Yes, of course, it's great to have the minister here, and
Yes.
it shows the level that this competition is at, and it also shows that probably the Minister of Sports is committed in seeing young people doing sports, not just for elite performance, but sport generally as part of the menu that is there, not just to have them going to the street corners, smoking something, not just going into the video, playing videos at home, sitting at home and all that.
They have it, of course, the Minister for Sports, Harris Bulunga, in the company, of course, of Chairman of Eswatini Sports and Recreation Council, Mr. Tserkolo Dino Dlamini, there in the right, in the front, red and black outfit. I mean, Sport Council together, the ministry in the past years, when it comes to this magnitude of the event, they have shown the support. I think for you as a coach, you're the right person to maybe say they have, given the support to where it's due. And I think this is the platform. They're about to award those who are 800 meters, 100 meters. There is also people living with disability who competed in the wheelchair race, Coach.
Yes, it's great. I mean, like we say, it's wonderful that we see wheelchair competitors. It's the first time to have them in our national championships, and it's history in the making to get them to be awarded by the minister this medals here. And of course the youngsters, like we keep on talking about the 800 meters, as you can see, our ladies just really youngsters at the right age to be working for the next 10 years will be really wonderful to see them through the process.
Of course, it will be tricky to see how maybe the athletes will be awarded under the current conditions, of course, of COVID-19. I don't see how maybe one would say they will be going to get a medal and be, worn it and put it on the shoulders of the athletes. But under the current conditions of COVID-19, I think mostly we've seen internationally, the athlete goes and picks the medal for himself. And I think that's what's being discussed for now. We'll see, how are they going to award the athletes, knowing that you can't be in contact with someone for now.
Yeah, I think what they've done, what I've seen earlier in the morning session, they got the people who are awarding the medals. They sanitize them before coming here.
Oh, okay.
The medals have been sanitized and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens that the one who gives the medal will take the medal and put on the neck of the athlete. Of course, having sanitized the hands because with the VIPs, they're being sanitized, they get up to where they are, and also through the tunnel before they come down to give medals to the athletes.
And I think, Coach, maybe to not take away the glory from the team that you are seeing there in the front of the minister himself. Minister himself, of course, has approached, has taken the first medal to award these, champions. I want to believe it's TZ Lubombo team that
Yes,
has actually, won this race, Coach.
Yes, it's athlete coming from TZD. And they've done really well. I mean,
yes, Coach, go on.
Yes, they've done really well because we are really advocate for inclusivity.
Okay.
And for them to have this athlete to come and perform at this level is great. We can only hope for growth from here.
All right. There you have it. And of course, protocols are being observed, as Coach Mabuza highlighted it. Everything that you've seen there, you talk about the medals that the minister is collecting from that trail. Those medals have been sanitized. The people in contact with the minister themselves also have checked their temperatures. They have been sanitized. Gifts are being given. And of course, this is one way of encouraging them to say, you are also part of us. When you talk about people living with disability, you don't belong to a certain area, you are part of us. And I think the minister also is ensuring that they get everything. Talk about the medals, talk about the bracelets, and I think he's following instruction to say who gets the medal next. Oh, it's the one in the middle, he's the winner, and he gets a t-shirt and of course and a bracelet of saying well done, my boy, you did well.
Yes, very, very much so. What they get, I think, courtesy of some sponsors. I think Provident Fund. They give the gold and they also get the
as part of the main sponsors
t-shirt
of the event.
as part of the main sponsors of the event. It's really wonderful, and we can see that the minister with the athletics president and of course and the chairman of sports and recreation council. It's with going for the photo shoot. It's what is normally done internationally.
All right, and of course we are still witnessing the awarding ceremony here at Mavuso Sports Center, an event that has been fruitful since the early hours of this morning, the Saturday 22nd of the month of May. The year is 2021. Groundbreaking, that's the word Coach Mabuza used. What has happened between Eswatini Athletic Association and Eswatini TV, giving you live, bringing you live, showing you live what's happening here at Mavuso Sports Center. Now, Erika Sayama, she goes on the stage alone as champion of high jump. She's done a lot. I think one would say for her to stand there as high jump champion, Coach, there is something you can maybe say. The minister has to come and give her a medal.
Yes. She's been patient. I mean, firstly, it was a push for her to also to be recognized and to come and compete.
Yes.
And for her to also continue and staying, even though it's difficult. It's difficult to compete alone. You can even imagine training alone, competing alone. It's really a challenge. It requires total focus and, of course, knowing exactly what you need to do. Because she's got, like I said earlier, she's got a target in front of her. She's got to push and try to qualify for African Champs. She's got to push and try to qualify for Olympic Games. She's got to push and try to qualify for Commonwealth Games even next year. And of course, she still has got the personal performance that she presented, the 1.85 that she's going to try to improve. We are really happy for her. We are really excited that she's still there and pushing herself.
Coach, now we are awarding 400 meters finalists. There goes Correctional as one of the team that showed us something. These are the 400 meters finalists in the female category. In performance, the third person, of course, with the bronze medal. We go there on the left of the screen where the athletes also has to get a medal as the runner-up.
Yes. I must remind viewers, this is the dramatic event or race that we saw where one of the leading athletes fell right before the finishing line, and she could not pick herself up, thereby having this athlete benefiting from that unfortunate situation. But of course, we congratulate them for being able to manage the race. I keep on referring in really managing the race quite well, and they've done really well. Like, again, we're witnessing a new champion even in the 400 meters women. That is wonderful. I mean, it's a refreshing day today to see new blood, new people coming in. And of course, we keep on talking about the youngsters. The athlete from Greater Sue to Sainile is a youngster, still below the age of 20. So the future is bright. Also, the athlete from Correctional Services is a youngster as well, that we're seeing also for the first time this year. And of course, the future is bright. Of course, the fact that they're girls and we are short of women in the sport, and we hope that they can stay and try to emulate the likes of Bopumile, the likes of the likes of Bo Mahlala, have been there for some time. And of course, it goes with the coaches, and also it goes with
Coach, so to catch you now, we're heading into the 400 meters finalist for male, under the male category. For men, that is what you have on the stage. These are the finalists, 400 meters. Impressed performance, the athletes on the stage being awarded by the minister?
Yes, very, very much impressed. So, and I like the fact also when you look at their structure, it's the structure that you want in the 400 meters. It's nice, nice, a little bit slim, and also tall. The height is the height that we like. And yes, they are looking for the athlete who got the gold medal.
Oh, the number one. I
yes,
think he
wasn't.
I think he still can't believe that he's the champion of 400 meters. He has to be on the highest stage of the podium.
Yes, he's a kid that was here before, and he came from the short sprints, the 100 and the 200, and it's his first year in doing the 400 meters, and for him to be able to push himself and to get to the top of the podium, it's great from him. We can't dedicate that to the coach, but it's the work that he has put together himself, and of course working with the coach. And yeah, we can only wish him well, like with the other athletes. He's a new champion in the event, so it continues to show that we are really unleashing something towards 2032.
The Agenda 2032, as Coach Mabuza is highlighting, is bright indeed. If you look at the performance that we have witnessed, that we have watched here at Mavuso Sports Center. And of course, for now, that will be all right, as we can see, of course, the first arrangement of awarding those who outshined others has passed. And as you can see, of course, the Minister for Sports in the company of Zakeri Dlamini, the Athletic Association President, the Undersecretary in the Ministry, of course, all dignitaries here today to give us a beautiful performance. Coach, there is a lot I can see on my left. Something is being displayed as well. I know we still have to come and witness 100 and 200 meters also being awarded. But for now, what are we expecting to see?
Let me call it the legends or the masters who are going to see
above the age of 35.
Yes, going for 60 meters. And it's the athletes of the yesteryears and mixed up with some officials.
Okay.
And it should be nice. We hope someone doesn't pull a medal. And this I must say, here on the track we have got Moyane Qinile, who is our Olympian. She was in the Athens Games in 2004. She was also in the Commonwealth Games in Melbourne, Australia. And she's here with Mpelave Dlamini, an athlete who was also in those games in Athens and also in Melbourne, Australia. And I think they're also going to run here. And one of the athletes that you also see, athlete of the yesteryears who was great in 800 meters, also in the 10K, is Beatrice coming from Correctional Services. We see that she's getting ready here herself.
The young man in the red outfit is an official. He's an officer from Sport Council. By the name of Zwagele.
Yes.
Zwagele, one would say he's a sports person, but it's a question to say, is he one of the person we can say we can expect a good performance from him?
I don't know his.
It's hard to tell. Yes.
I don't know his pros when it comes to running.
Yes.
But what is going to come against is a quality field. Like I was still going through, when you have got him against Mpelavu, we'll see how he's going to do. There's also the tall one, Mabaso, who is also a former athlete, with Real Eswatini Police, and he's also going to be there. And these are the people to beat.
They have it, of course, head counting taking place to ensure that whoever that is going to be part of the edition is the right person, has registered rightly, has followed all the protocols, and of course, there are some of the restrictions that you have to go through as an athlete. Head count, and then of course they are approaching to the area. Being at the edge, being above the age of 35, mshengimuna ngathi buta ukuthi ngabe kuyangivumela yini ukuthi kulo mnyaka lothako nami ngangena nginemngani wami ngifise kumletha by the name of Linda Dlamini Master 7 kanye utsanza amatubane kakhulu ngangena yini sayisakhuluma ukuthi between mina naye umbani lo fast ngicabanga ukuthi le platform ingasivumela ukuthi sibone ukuthi ngubani lo ngakhona. But just to explain coach ukuthi this category of 60 meters above the age of 35, who goes in? Am I allowed to register?
You are more than allowed to register. You can go in, and I think again the federation is doing something to try to push for master athletes.
Yes.
And because the sport it's long term. Long term it's we say from cattle to grave. So you should start as a baby and then finish when you go into the grave. So there's nowhere where you should stop. And in the world stage we see one of the elite sprinters in Justin Gatlin is still running sub 10 at the age of 39. So 35 is still a spring chicken.
Wow, they have it. And of course, the stage is set. I mean, I think for some of them, it's not about really to say, I want to be the best. It's to see, to test yourself. If at school I was one of the best, if maybe, when I was young, I was one of the best, do I still have what it takes? Can I go and maybe showcase my talent? And of course, the stage is set, the athletes in full focus.
Yes, like I said, in the Meklis, where we've got Kanile Moyana. The athlete who was in Athens back in 2004.
Yes.
Who has been in Commonwealth Games. He used to be specialized in 102. And
they have it.
Let's see. You can see by the start that...
Is this what you wanted to see, coach?
Yes.
Your expectations was on point. The champion. There goes the person you wanted. I mean, if there is any international competition of this magnitude, she has the right place for us to send her and represent as well.
Definitely, we have left ourselves out of this over the years because in the world, they still World Master Championships. You have got the World Championships. You also have got the World Indoors for Masters. Yes. And of course, in World Championships, the normal World Championships, World Athletics still invites athletes to participate in those World Championships. So it's definitely something that we have to look at and give an opportunity, of course, to the people that were in the sport and have grown the sport, and also from people that were never in the sport but still wants to try themselves in the sport. It's something that is wonderful.
I'm looking at this heat now for the men category. What is your expectation, coach? Any specific face you want to see?
We look at the athletes in the Mekli.
Yes.
There you have second from right, Mabasombuso, and you also have got Musa Dlamini, and then you have got Impelave. Those athletes are still fast.
Yes.
Or those masters are still fast. Very, very fast. There's Impelave in the national colors, the one that we've talked about, who's our Olympian, who was in Athens, who has been into several Commonwealth Games. He used to be our main guy. I think Busiso Matsenja also the bolt took from him,
yes.
Took after him back in 2009.
Wow. It's an interesting one, coach. I mean, if you look at from far, you look, some of them, you could judge them on their body language to say,
yes,
do they have what it takes? Can they really give us a right performance? But it's a stage. It is a quite important one.
It's quite important. And we look at Zwagele, the official, I think it's going to give these guys a run for their money. And we'll see. I think Musa Dlamini is an athlete who is a master, but he recently has been in the sport not a long time ago. I think he's still going to benefit because he's the latest, I'm sure, to retire as compared as to the others.
And of course, if you are joining us here live on Eswatini TV, this is the 2021 National Championship edition. Now, we are witnessing the 60 meters. This is a Masters final. Now, it is untended, or it is only joined by athletes who are above the age of 35. The man by the name of Zwagele, all the way from Sport Council, of course, putting on a smile there, as he has to show us what he has to offer. He talks about him being the best, and I think I want him to show us the best, but I think we have now to allow a bit of those who are officials here at Mavuso Sports Center to see what are they trying to show us in saying, let's give these athletes a minute to get close. All right, and they are already on their marks, coach.
Yes, they're on the marks, and it's luckily they're doing 60 meters, so the finish line looks close, but it can be very, very far sometimes.
The key of this position, coach.
We
have a two saying by doing those things. When they gun up.
When you try to put your hands wide, it's to try to get the body, the legs to pass through the... Oh, that was a false start.
No. No. In the sports to say, it speaks to also, exposure. When last did you compete? I think for him to go off the mark before the point, before the whistle was raised, it means it's been long since he competed, coach.
What is interesting is that most of them are officials, and now we want to see if they can get a taste of their own medicine, what they give to the athletes, because normal circumstances, there should be no false starts. You false start, you get a red card. I think what you can see now, he's being...
Is he being sunlight?
Yes,
he's being sunlight.
Because he false started. And
wow.
The butterflies, when you're there, when you're thinking about getting ahead of everybody there, it gets the better of you.
But the question, was he the only one who left off the mark, coach? Because I think at this point, isn't it a bit unfair for him to be disqualified?
He was the first one, because others, they react with you. And the gun did go, but he went before the gun went. So, of course, athletes automatically react with you when you fall start, and maybe that's why he's the only one who's being disqualified.
All right, coach, maybe just to give us a quick recap to the viewer, who got disqualified? The person who just saw being disqualified, who is?
Yes, it's one of our officials, Mr. I'll forget his name, but it's one of our officials. He normally he's in the start. He's also part of the technical officials committee.
The moment has arrived. Yes. Listen to the silence, the focus of the athletes, off the mark. There you have it. Are you excited, coach?
It's Musa and Mpelave in the front.
Yes. The man who handed over the crown to Sibusiso Masenjwa.
He came
so second. He still has it.
Yes, he still has it. And like I said earlier, Musa is still benefiting because I think he's the latest to retire from the sport. So he's still young, he's still fresh, he's still fit enough to take them on. But of course, it's been a great race. Like we saw, being challenged by Mpelave, being challenged also by Mabaso. It's really wonderful. It's commendable. I hope next year we're going to have one for the media.
Wow, there you have it. Coach, you've highlighted something actually that I wanted to say. I'm giving a promise to the viewer that talk about 2022 National Championships edition. Count me into the 60 meters masters. And of course, I'm going to show many that when you talk about sports, we also have something to show off. Now, coach, not to shy away from what's happening here at Mavuso Sports Center, what's left now? We talked about, different finals. Now, I'm looking at the rundown. It calls for 400 meters, male and female. What can we expect from the rundown? What's left on our calendar, on our program?
What's left on our program? I think when I look at it, we were still yet to have the relays.
Yes.
Where we're going to have the 4x100 meters and also the 4x400 meters. I think it's also one exciting event.
Yes.
We'll see which athletes have been able to maintain themselves going to the relay, because we've seen some are limping because they've got some niggles here and there. Because like we've said earlier, today with the championships, they had to run hits and finals. Yet with the two build-ups, the board is used to just running once and go home. But now the board is being put into it is being challenged into the limits, because the athletes have got already some of them running the heats, and they've got 4 races under their belt. Now they're going to get into the relays. And the relays are also very exciting because you have got those that are again challenging the seniors. And one of the team is comprised of the juniors that are trying to get into the World Junior Championships in Kenya, of course, with the support of the Swazi nation. We'll see how far they are going to go. And also the 4x4 is very, very, very interesting, where you've got reps versus correctional services versus MAC and versus TZD. It's
quite exciting.
It's quite exciting. You can't put a finger who's going to win this relays.
It's groundbreaking, like you said it earlier on, Coach. Now, the clock is ticking, and of course we are left with the 2 editions, if I'm not mistaken. We're talking about the relays 4x100 and under the category of female, and we talk about also under the category of women.
Yes.
And we also talk about the awarding ceremony, of course, where later on we will see other things taking place. And of course, one more thing I can highlight to the viewers is that we've been entertained, Coach. And I think the first build-up to this edition was on the 27th of April. The second one was on the 8th, if I'm not mistaken. You talked about, how athletes were a bit rusty in terms of their preparations. I mean, they are from quick COVID-19 restriction. They didn't get enough time to, to prepare, but they had 2 build-ups. And I think you were quite worried as a national team coach to say you are not convinced in what they are offering. But having seen what they did today,
today they've really been better. They really rose up to the occasion. I mean, credit to go to the coaches that have worked with this athlete. When you remember, besides the injury, you remember the first build-up, especially the second build-up, how athletes like Pumle dominated, and that dominance was not there today, irrespective of the injury. But the athlete shows that they really picked themselves up for the national championships event. And also, when you see in the 100 meters. It was tough. It was a tough race, very, very competitive. Again, also the 200, when you take out Busiso, the other slots, your position 2, 3, up to position 4 or 5, it was a really fight. It shows the level that these athletes are at in terms of fitness. It shows that they really prepared themselves for this event. And of course, I must say, it looks like we still have got another race for the officials. We wonder whether it's going to be relays or it's just going to be 200 meters.
Yes, of course. Wow, joining us here at Mapsa Sports Center, of course, this is one of the groundbreaking broadcasts brought to you by Eswatini TV, as Mr. Mabuza highlighted it. It is groundbreaking. Now, temperatures, of course, dropping, knowing the current time, of course, from 4 to 5 p.m. Of course, temperatures have dropped. Of course, if you are maybe far away from Manzini, I can tell you that you are witnessing, or we are feeling temperatures that is ranging between 18 to 19. That's how a bit cold is getting, and of course it speaks to what the last athletes who have to compete in the relays talk about the 4x100 finals, what they have to show. But one thing I can tell you that different organizations, different companies, different sponsors have pulled in their numbers. Talk about Eswatini Sports and Recreation Council, who of course are the the motherboard of everything that is taking place. Talk about Eswatini National Provident Fund as my title sponsors, one of the sponsors. The association itself, the Athletic Association, have pulled a good performance. Under the current conditions of COVID-19, of course, it is quite tough for everyone to be here. Supporters were not allowed, and of course, this is why Eswatini TV, as one way, of course, of always ensuring that we meet you at the point of your need, we have brought this broadcast to you. Groundbreaking, like the way Coach Mabuzo, highlighted it. Coach, I know we can also talk about the future and everything as we're waiting for, of course, the performance to take place. We can talk about maybe the calendar of athletics internationally. I mean, you talked about Olympics. We know that they are coming in June, July. There's the Commonwealth Games in next year you talked about. But maybe regionally, you talked about also the Region 5. Is it December? Supposed to be hosted in Lesotho. Any other thing, maybe other tournaments we can expect? You once, maybe between you and I, you once highlighted a tournament in Kenya for the juniors.
Yes, we've got the World Junior Championships in Kenya coming in August, just after the Olympic Games, and the federation is trying is trying hard to give the platform to the youngsters that we are talking about in the relay, and hopefully we'll see them. Though I'm not so sure with the injuries, but this event is very, very critical. I think the federation can do with some partners to assist these athletes in getting there, because what the federation wants to do is to ensure that we produce more than one Sibusisos, more than one Swazi Bolt. Like, unlike what we have seen in the past, I mean, Swazis used to ask themselves, is there only one athlete in the country? Is there only two athletes, Sibusiso and Pumlile? And the federation is really speaking to that with its vision of 2032. And part of that vision, part of that journey is taking these guys, these junior athletes, into the world stage to come up against their peers in Kenya. And it's very, very important. And of course, with support, this is possible. This is possible. And I mean, like you've talked about the corporate that you see today, your provident fund, your I'm sure there are more. We have heard of Sweet Home. We've heard of others. Your MVA. That's how I hear. We hope that they can partner with the federation in its 2032 vision, because this is the platform for the youngsters. We want every youngster to get the opportunity to stand up against the best in the world and be counted. And coming from Eswatini, we believe that it's possible. And what Swazi TV is doing, it's not just the 5 or 6 that could be sent. It's also those that are at home with the potential. When they watch them on TV, they have to believe that they can do it. They can knock them off of that team and join that team that goes to Kenya. Because it does not end in Kenya. Also, when we talk of 2032, it does not end in 2032. It goes beyond. It goes beyond. We talk of 2036, 21. It's the journey of putting Eliswati ahead of the others. Of saying Eliswati kid can dream as well and realize his dream. But all is possible with the support that we see that has been possible with the national championships. Also in taking the athletes out now to go there. When it comes to the international calendar,
yes.
What is very, very critical to also mention is the first Olympic Games that will be held on the African soil, and they will be in 2026 in Senegal. Also, the agenda of the federation, and of course also the agenda of the country, is to get young athletes. They should be 12 years by now, that could be supported, be trained to go and succeed in Senegal in the Youth Olympic Games. It's very, very critical that you assist those kids. And it's possible with such partnership with your Swazi TV, with your Provident Fund, with your MVA, and other companies that have made possible for athletes to perform. So it's really, really, really critical. And of course, we still have got your Youth Commonwealth Games besides them that are possible. I think the last one was supposed to be staged in Trinidad and Tobago, but they were cancelled due to COVID-19. But it's possible that they could be there even next year after the Olympics. So we still have got to work with these athletes. I keep on talking about the 15-year-old, because the youth are all those kids that are below the age of 18.
Yes,
and what we've seen today, these young kids, when they come up, they are also becoming part of the long list of those athletes that are identifying for these events and training them. It's really great. And what also worth mentioning is the direction that the federation is taking with the Vision 2032, with them taking the sport to the region to try to unearth more athletes that can join the ones that we see here. Because there's still more athletes at home that we're not able to get into, coming from in the region, from your Lubombo, your Hoho, your Nshiselwen and all that. Okay. We need one day to have the stadium filled up by athletes.
Yes.
Like we see in Jamaica and in other countries, whereby we have got these athletes that can fill up the stadium. Thereby, we're able to get the best out of the best.
Wow. Groundbreaking, and of course, a little bit of light music, and of course, athletes, of course, warming up themselves with a bit of music being played here at Mavsa Sports Center as the ceremonies, or rather the program, carries on. We're still left with a couple of things, of course, the 4x100 final relays in male and female category. So we still have, of course, to get 2 to 3 champions in those areas. And of course, there's another race. We've seen the masters of the athletes at the above the age of 35. So of course we should witness another one to say those who've left the industry, where are they today? Can they still compete internationally? It's been a beautiful day. It's been a beautiful, entertaining, warm, beautiful day. But the temperatures, coach, seemed to have dropped. And I think it goes to what we were saying earlier on, to say as an athlete, when you go to compete in countries, in your England, in your Australia, where you get there, you left here when it's 35 degrees. When you get there, they're in winter and it's minus 15 degrees. You should adapt. You should be able to compete. So the changes also have showed us that if you're experienced, you know how to behave.
Exactly. You should adapt. I always say to athletes, the competition does not adapt to you, but you adapt to the competition.
Yes.
Of course, I remember one time when we were in London Olympic Games, it was cold. We were there for a whole month. It was almost raining every day. And we had our athlete, just before she took in the 400 meters, the rain came non-stop. So then the next minute, there was no rain. So, but it shows that we athletes, or we coaches, we have to assist our athletes to adapt to any kind of weather. Because when you go to Olympics, you go to World Championships, you are going to be exposed to all different kind of weather. Sometimes it could be too cold. And we had the last World Championships in Doha. It was extremely hot.
True.
So it doesn't matter which part of the world you come from. As the athlete, you adapt to the competition, where the competition is.
They have it. You adapt to the competitions. You adapt to the conditions. Coach, far right, there is something taking place. What are we watching? What can we expect as we can see the ladies lining up?
Is the start of the relay? Is officials that we see? It's they're doing 4x1 as well, and it involves committee members in the association, in the federation. It involves also board members in the federation. As we can hear, that there is the competitions commission. It comprises of the people that are in the competitions commission. They have formed a team.
True.
And also you've got gender committee having a team. So all the committees have made their teams, and they are running a race.
The importance of the race, coach.
It's good. It's critical that the people that are running the sport, they should know how it feels to run. They should get into the shoes of the athletes as well, so that they know what they're talking about. So it's really great. It's also form part of the entertainment and all of those things, because this is also for the viewers at home, and it's nice to see people of different shapes and sizes and ages and all that. As you can see, we have got men and women mixed up. It's really, really, really great.
It's a sort of course, telling you as a coach, as an instructor, to say, get my feeling as an athlete. This is what I feel when I'm on the track field. This is what I feel when you put me through preparations. It says a lot as an association. You don't only prepare the athletes, you prepare the officials as well on their marks.
Yes.
Getting ready. I like the silence,
Yes.
coach, before they take off.
The silence is critical, because there should be no false start. So for there to be no false start, the athletes should only hear the gun. So spectators are expected to keep quiet for the start.
Now, I've noted that some of the officials that we noted in the masters, 60 meters matters, are also involved. Look at the pace. Look at the speed. Look at the encouragement, coach. They're in front. What are we seeing there in front?
It's a former athlete called Musa Dlamini.
Yes.
I think he got the pattern from another former athlete Hazel, who once represented the country in World Indoors in Portugal.
Yes.
And there what you see is TD. Dlamini is also a former athlete who's with she used to specialize in 100 meters.
There is Mr. Mavigana, the public relations officer of the association. Is he fast enough? Wow, they have it. The man on the front in the black outfit, Mabuza, what can you tell me about him?
Yes, he's an official who also used to run as a former athlete as well. So too.
Coach, the
Ngabula.
importance of finishing your race, because I can see some people are still running up to now. You have to finish. It's all about timing.
You have to finish, and you have to know when you're in a relay, you have got the hope of the whole team in your shoulders. So you can't drop the baton. So it's critical that you take the baton over the line because the whole team relies on you.
Wow, beautiful performance. A bit of fun we just witnessed there as we saw the 4x100 board and committee members final. And of course, it involves officials, it involves coaches, it involves all those who play a huge involvement into the sports in the country, in the entire country. And of course, we can see the involvement. Coach, you're talking about now as we're going forward. We're going to see the last two, performances. Coach, at this stage, you're sitting. You're the national team coach. You're asking yourself, you've noted few things, coming to youngsters, coming to the elders, you've noted things. When you sit on your own to say, I'm about to select for the national team, are you happy with what you've seen today?
I'm very, very happy. I'm very, very happy because I like the fact that we're seeing youngsters challenging. And already we look at what we have talked about the relay. We look at having these kids coming up as a team, these athletes coming up as a team. Yes, we have Bongiwe winning, but we want to see not Bongiwe, we want to see Bongiwe specifically and the other youngsters coming up with them, blending that. We have seen Spusiso dominating, but we no longer want Spusiso to be alone. We want Spusiso to take the young boys, the young pretenders that have followed him, to say, can he be there in the team with them as we go towards next year Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. And it's very, very critical for the association not to repeat the mistake that we made in the past of focusing on one athlete, because it's critical. It's critical that we push a bigger group than one person at a time. But of course, this comes with huge cost, because when you take a relay team, you have to take 6 athletes to the World Championships. We used to get one ticket, now we have to get 6 or 7 tickets.
Expenses.
You need to now accommodate 6 or 7 people. So that comes with a huge cost. So hopefully people will partner with the federation in trying to push this, because as they run, they are not running for themselves, they are also running for the young kids at home, those that are watching on TV, that are going to say, I want to be like Sibusiso. They need to go, when they try to be like Sibusiso, they have to find the conditions good enough for them to be supported to get to the next level. How can you make this condition to be good enough? It's when you put everybody coming together. Your Ministry of Sports, your sports and your sports and recreation council, your corporate people coming together in supporting these youngsters. And of course, we wish to also have these municipalities to come and support these youngsters. When we talk of only Erica doing the high jump, what can the municipality of Mangane do to ensure that when you go to the municipality there, you are going to find high jump mat, high jump upright, you are going to find short puts, are you going to find discus? Those implements, they should be there. Can you go to Inkundla Center and find the sporting equipment? When we can come together and do these things, we can really create a sporting culture among these people. But it's only possible with what we have seen today.
Beautiful stuff, Coach. Thank you very much, of course, for that detailed information. It speaks to preparations and it speaks to what we have to offer. Now, far there in the corner, Coach, something is taking place. What are we seeing on our screens there, far in the end?
We are starting to see the kids preparing themselves to. Or what we see there, we see the drawing of a discuss by women.
Yes, discuss.
It's one of the things that we talked about, to say it's of no value to only have 5 discuss in the country and all of them being housed at Mavuso Sports Center. Can we get discuss at Mtambama? Can we find them at Mvonjeni? Can we find them at Stobela? If that could be possible, then we can see more kids throwing discuss. That's why when you see, you're going to find maybe 1 or 2 coming from Tlatane, because that school has got those implements and the kids can do those. Then if we come together and make sure those implements are there, then the second thing is to work on equipping the people around with the technical knowledge. in that way, we can unearth more talent and have more kids coming up into elite performance.
It is groundbreaking. That is the words that were used earlier on by Coach Mozi Mavuza, the national team coach. You talk about a man with enough accreditations from the Athletic Association. He's the right man. Experience. Talk about raising an athlete at the early stage. Coach, schools have a better job to offer. That's why we have what we call Eswatini School Sports Association. That's where the talent is spotted. That's where the talent is monitored. That's where the talent is marketed. And coach, to emphasize on that, schools have been off and on. Now we don't have school competition. How has that maybe affected your preparations in seeing the talent in youngsters, knowing the current conditions of the world being the COVID-19 pandemic?
It has really affected us a lot. Normally the federation will have the national championships after the school sports national championships, and from there we'll be able to say, this is our youth team, this is our junior team that we select, and then we get them to compete against those that are training in the clubs. But this year and last year that was not the case. But of course we can understand that is due to COVID-19, because schools are closed and schools are under pressure now to push the syllabus and all that. But that does not mean we should not plan for it. Schools are going to open once again, and we need school sports to be really up their game in terms of what they present and how they run their competition. And also what you've witnessed today with Eswatini TV coming here, which I've said it's similar to what is happening in South Africa as well with DSTV, whereby they've gone and say, for us to promote sports, we have to start with the young kids. We have to get them on TV. We have got to ensure that they do get to be watched by their parents. They do get to be watched by their peers as well. And that's the best way you can do as a TV in promoting sports.
Coach, on our screen, of course, down there, we're witnessing discuss. We talked about shot put earlier on, where we know that there wasn't much to say about record breaking. We talked about Mr. Diyu Fagutse being a highlight. When you talk about discus finals, what can we expect? And the sport itself, the athletes to watch out in that. That's the women finals.
Yes, again, it's a sport that traditionally we are not good at. We're not good at because of the things that I've mentioned. But when it comes to running, everybody can run, because you can get to the road, you can get to the, anywhere you can easily train running. But unfortunately, when it comes to discus and of course shot put, it's very difficult. So the standard is still not up to where it should be. But what is beautiful, we do have the athletes. When you see those athletes that we see there from Umhlatane,
yes,
you are going to see the same athletes or similar athletes to ours that we see there from South Africa, from there showing up. But the difference is that those coming from the other countries, the developed countries, like in Germany, South Africa, in England and all that, they do get access to this equipment. They also do get access to the quality coaching. And of course the federation is trying. Is trying. In the last 2 years, they've been
sorry to cut you. The lady who are about to throw, coach. What can you tell me about her?
Yes, that's an athlete from TZD. But of course, like we have seen with the shot put, you can see the technique, that the technique is not up to the level where it should be. Like we saw Diyu moving around between what I call the glide or the O'Brien technique and also the rotation. So we discuss the elite, the developed ones, they do the rotation in the cycling. That's why I've got the cycling. The rotation so that you create the momentum. And the athlete, when you see them, no one is going to rotate. So they don't create the momentum, which is then transferred into the discus, which will take the implement further. So they are throwing minus the momentum that should be generated. Thereby, the throws don't go that further. So the technique is still very raw, but it's something that we can work on. But for us to be able to work on this, there is the shortage of implements. But the fact that we've got the Ministry of Sports and also your Sports and Recreation Council here, who can make it possible to ensure that into the Dikundla centers, into the schools, into those different hubs where we can take these implements, they could be there. And then it's easy for the federation now to come and say, let us provide the technical support, which is the training of the coaches that can train these youngsters to be able to deliver with the right technique. And of course,
there goes another
developing.
technique.
Yes, and you see the discus wobbling, and you can see that they throw around, I think, 20 meters, 15, between 20 and 15 and 30, and the world level, they're at 60 meters, the women, and the men,
Half of the
exactly,
field.
half of the field. And the men, they are around 70 meters.
The entire
Between
field,
60
close to
and
the entire field.
almost the entire field in discus. So this shows where we are, but it does not represent the potential that we have. We have a great potential, but the question is, do we have access to the equipment? Once we get access to equipment, then we can develop these youngsters to be at the required level of performance, like we have seen with Labos Busiso and the Pumliles. Because thank God to what the government has done with Mavuso, of course, also with Somhlolo. What they're doing is really, really wonderful. That's why in the sprint we have seen an improvement in performance. It's due to these facilities that they've provided. But we can still go much further in terms of like what we have talked about, ensuring that we equip our Tinkundla centers, we equip also our because I'm sure Sports and Recreation Council had got some centers that they've developed, like Bostobela, that those centers are equipped with the right equipment that can enable these athletes to improve their performances. And then the federation have got to go there and ensure that people are trained to train these athletes.
There goes Mr. Mafikane. You know him as one of a well-spoken person, the public relations officer of the Athletic Association, acknowledging the importance of Eswatini TV to come and display and show the country what the athletes have to display. Beautiful job done today. Now, we're talking about discuss, we're talking about how much is needed to improve the sport, how maybe in Funzi, coach, I think maybe at your capacity, we need specialized coached in that area, because we're watching now the finals for women. I think we'll proceed with the male finals through discuss. But are we expecting a specific technical bench for that sport for us to grow as a country? If you yourself are maybe going to be given more attention to our sprinters, to give them the attention. I'm not saying that's your area of expertise, but saying for you to be able to focus properly, you can't be every coach. We need a technical team that is mostly for discuss, mostly for short put.
I'll give you a short one in what you've just said, actually to support what you're saying. A general coach will always give you general results.
True.
So to move from the general results, we need to go into specific.
True.
So as a coach, you can't do everything. Even if you might have an idea of almost everything, but you need others to specialize so that you could move forward. So like we have seen with DU, Dumsani was produced locally by local people, but the advantage that he had coming from Tlangano, he was with Tlangano track, where you had Iwat, you had the late Victor Shabango, you had others that were supporting in that club, and he was at Gwane teacher training, where he had the exposure to this material, doing physical education, which is another area that is critical in the development of sport. So with him, he was lucky to do physical education at Gwane and thereby learning the technique. But of course, now for others, we need to produce other coaches that can now totally focus in this area. Like you have just said, is very true. We need to produce these coaches, but to go with these coaches, we also need the material. We need the access to this material. We need to be able that we can give such service to the youngsters so that they can be the best version, not just of themselves, but of the country that we are in improving excellence.
Coach, I think we should be heading towards the end of what we have brought to the viewers. If you just can briefly tell us now the remaining editions. I can see far on my left there is a display taking place, as you can see. What are we expecting? What is about to happen? 2 editions, of course, on our programs left.
Yes, what we're about to witness is the 4x1.
Yes.
Women
finals.
Yes, women finals. And these teams qualified from the 2 build-up that we had to be here. in the finals. So right now on your left is those people who are going to take the baton over the line. On the right at the finishing line, we've got one group going there to start the relay. So they will have the baton that will try to pass around to 4 people, each running 100 meters, and then giving the baton to the next. And we'll see who's going to come here. Again, we've got the police team which as the favorite, and they have the 2 sprinters who managed to get 1 and 2. Both in 100 and 200 meters. So we were likely to see them displaying their powers here. And then behind them, we have got the team from Uniswa. The team...
Another athletic team, I should say Kuli, the coach, in terms of showing their potential.
Yes, the potential is there. We do hope that they can go even a step further. Not just the University of Eswatini, but also the other colleges, Yongwane, your William Peter, your Sano as well. Your Limkokwini everywhere, because we talk of schools where development is. Yes. And elite in the other countries is in the universities. True. You talk of your way, your Casa Semenyas, they were able to perform because they were in the university sector and they went on to the World University Games. We talk of DU. You see, he's in a class of his own. He was also in the World University Games. That is only possible if you have good university sports as well. Again, you take to South Africa, we have got the university sports activities. Currently, you've got your rugby, you also have got your football, all of those things. This thing is a continuation, it's the whole process. So we're happy that over the years we have seen the team from the University of Eswatini consistently coming in, doing well. We need to get others. We also need the university now to have a clear plan to say, this is the direction that you want to go. But all this is possible with proper engagement from the Ministry of Sports Recreation Council down to the Federation. This will be possible.
Now you're about to witness the relays, the finals for women, coach, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is the women relay finals. Coach, mhlawumbe nje kuvetela lo bukele ekhaya ukuthi bomchuka bama relays. Nakubuka nje ukuthi they are always witness towards the last. Bomchuka bama relays. Why are they important?
Bomchuka bama relay, number one, for the spectators at home, it's fun, it's entertaining to see can people manage with this as a team event going with the baton going around the track. Number two, it builds a great team spirit up among these youngsters, because athletics is known as an individual event, and relays are the only events that bring this team effort. So it's very exciting for the youngsters to say, this is what we have done as a team, not as an individual. And it's also the reason why now the federation is also trying to say, let us push the relay, which is also going to promote team spirit among the athletes in the country, because it's an event that is a unifier and all that. And this is where also the teams, the excitement, the teams, they can see that we are competing as a team, and as a team, this is what we have done.
They have it, and of course, as we are waiting for relay finals, here comes them getting on the mark. Double checking is being conducted, head counts, making sure that every team is ready, making sure that everyone is on set, making sure that every athlete that is here, she has the focus, she is ready, she is focused. And of course, like I mentioned earlier on, the temperatures have dropped. It speaks to what earlier on Coach Mshengo highlighted, that as an athlete, conduct yourself to a professional level. Know that when the temperatures change, how do you now conduct yourself? Do you change the outfit to make sure that you keep the warmth of the body? There goes off the relay for the ladies, women.
Yes, again here we have got so many athletes that are youth athletes, and you like to see how they fare against these senior athletes.
They have it. Speed is on its course. Handing over to Uniswa team, if I'm not mistaken, coach. Yes.
Yes, of course, and we can see already the team from is ahead. The team
now,
from
we haven't reached to the police team where Bonye Mafela is in specific, but we're about to. What's the expectation, coach, as we reached on them? There you go.
Yeah, they are giving the baton very well. The exchange is good.
there is Pongo Matlarela, but there is Specific Dlamini. Specific Dlamini has finished as the champion. Specific
Yes.
Dlamini is the champion of the relay. So she has done it. She was the runner-up in the 100 and 200, but now she has here done and be able to do it.
Of course, they've done it as a team, and it's wonderful. I'm sure in the last two build-ups, they've been doing well, and they were the team to beat.
Yes.
And at least they did live up to that expectation.
Wow. Coach, it is a lot to say now that we've got the 100, the relays for men coming up, and the substitute you can see also warming up. It speaks to what we said earlier on, Coach, to say he has now changed the outfit, warming up a bit as he's about to race. But for this now, we just saw the team as especially Dlamini from reps, being the police athletics team. They are the champions of the relay, I want to say so. Now, coming to the male side, what's your expectation, Coach? Which team do you see taking the stage? Correctional is there, police is there, all of the teams are there.
I think the police, they've got an edge with the seasoned athletes, Busiso being the anchorman of their team. And of course, we'll see how the youngsters can manage the whole thing. But it's their first time that they managed in individual races, that they get into hits, into semi-finals. I mean into semi-finals and also the finals. So we'll see if they're still fit or healthy enough to go through the 4x1 relay. But in the last two editions, they've been dominating these youngsters. I think we had two teams from MAC. They came here as winners. But can they keep it together?
Wow.
Can they keep it together?
Good question. Can they keep it together? Relays, main finals, a lot at stake. We've witnessed what they are capable of doing. When you talk about 800 meters, we saw the potential. 400 meters, we saw the potential. 100 and 200 meters. 100, we have a new champion. 200, of course, by the name of Swaziport, he's still dominating. A lot is at stake in this relay finals. We're talking about the importance of relays, Coach. And then as a coach, and I want to think this is an area you mostly focus on when, as a coach, you are building your team to say, your pace, the speed as a team, because you don't want to have two athletes who are on a high performance, who, when you talk about speed, they are quite far, and then the rest of the team, they are behind. So relays have that possibility to give you the same crop of performance from your team.
Yes. That is true. And like I've said, we like to see also how the police team, because there's just Busiso who has been dominating.
Excellent.
How are the others going to come? Can they assist him? Can they help him through?
Now we talk about other teams, talk about correctional. An athlete maybe with a threat that you see has the potential, of course, of taking the stage.
I think unfortunately we didn't see Andile today in the 200 meters. Last time we did see him in the 200 meters. We don't know whether it's health issues or he's got some injuries here and there. But usually they're a team that can hurt. And also the team from TZD, they've got an excellent team together with Mkinseli, with your Jaguar. They are the team also to look out to when it comes to the 4x1.
All right, as now we are getting ready for the relays final for men. Now, majority, of course, who do not understand the technicalities, Coach, of the sport. At the moment, what's happening? I mean, they gather together, they have to listen to an official, and then all of a sudden, well, to your position.
Yeah. They've got to spread. They've got to know who goes on which leg, who goes where, and which lane is your team on.
Yes.
So that you are able to stay on the lane, and of course to understand. Yeah, it's also that last time where you can pass instruction also to each other as teammates to say this what to expect and all of those things. But of course we do say this comes from preparation from the past, because these relays have been there with the two build-ups, so we've had the time and the chance to make some corrections. But of course now some of the athletes are tired already, so we'll see. Like we said, can they really keep it together and deliver?
All right, I can see, of course, the police team headed by Subsiso Matsenjwa, Subsiso Swaziport Matsenjwa coming closer. Coach, before maybe they take off, earlier on you mentioned something about speciality, being a special in your area. When you talk about 400 meters, we have a special athlete who normally dominates under that category by the name of Andile Luseng. We didn't see him much of his action today. Anything maybe you can tell us on that?
Yeah, like I've said, we're not so sure if he's okay or not okay, but he hasn't raced well this year. Probably we'll find out from his team what his level of fitness is like. We hope there is no injury there, but yeah, it's something that. And we had also one athlete that was doing well was Cebo Mkalipi, but he didn't seem to be able to do okay today in the 400, also in the 200. Yeah, it's something like that. But we'll see because maybe the issue of COVID-19 had some negative effect on this athlete.
Wow. Men 4x1 getting into the position. Coach, unlike other games like your football, your volleyball, here you can easily tell who is going to give you a good performance. And I mean, I think having police there, knowing the men they have in their team, you can already tell they will win and he will make them win as one of the best in the land.
We hope if they are to catch the young pretenders, the MAC team, it will take a great performance from him. But he's up to the task. He's up to the task. He's well rested, having gone through only one event, missing the 100 meters. So he's well rested to push them, and probably even beat them. And of course, you can't take for granted the team from TZD. That I must repeat, with him Kinseli, who I think is a silver medalist, if it's not, but is a medalist from both events, your 100 and also your 200. So they're a great track. They've got a great team coming up together, and we'll see what they'll do. And of course, we see that the Manzini have got two teams in there. Also, Reps, I hope they still have got two teams. Yeah, I think Reps, they have got two teams. Yes, and so it will be interesting what comes of this now.
I have a quite interesting question, Coach, to ask you after this relay race is finished. I actually want to say, having been here the entire day, the most important question that I want to find out is that the clubs that so far that you've been impressed with. I think for me, my count would say it could be Police, it could be TZ Athletics Club, it could be Manzini, it could be Correctional, and maybe but so far 4 those clubs have impressed. Manzini, Police, talk about TZ, and talk about Correctional. It's a tricky one.
It's a tricky one, and when you're conflicted, and then you've got interest because you've got a club that is there.
It's okay. But, you can at the end of the day.
But of course,
on behalf of everyone.
Of course, being impressed, I'm impressed by the team coming from Tlangano. Tlangano is an area that is far away from so many things, and for them to come here and have athletes taking the gold and almost across, also in fields and also in the 800, and with the youngsters, it's something that I cherish very much, because this is where you also.
Yeah, about to leave Coach short.
Yes. Off they go. We had a great start. We'll see.
Great start. Your anticipation at this stage, Coach? Are you seeing what you wanted to see?
Yes, I think already these athletes from Manzini, they are pushing everyone.
The young men in the red top, in the front, the speed, the courage, the focus.
Yes, they are pushing everyone, and they are on the bend. So like we've said, can they put it together? You can see the challenge from TZD.
This is when the tension comes in. I think Subuso got it a bit late, but I want to see how he's going to overtake them. Look how he's going to overtake
That's where the fight is.
But now it has shown that he has overtaken them. It's a tight one, Coach. In our call now, we can't really say who is the first, because I think he receives the stick towards the end, but look at the time. But in your position, maybe you're able to. Who was the first? I can see a lot of athletes hugging him there in the corner. Does it mean he's the champion? Does it mean their club has won?
We always said he was going to be the difference.
Yes.
He's in a class of his own, and it's great that he was the anchor of his team. That was a great choice. And the fact that he rested, he didn't do the 100, and he only went for the 200, it's really wonderful. And the other thing that is also interesting.
What a performance.
What is interesting is that these boys that you see there, from MAC, they are with this guy in training every day. So it's great. It's going to be wonderful when they are back on training together with these boys. It's going to be something really, really wonderful.
And I think from our technical team, what we're hearing is that, of course, so much I think managed to be the one on the finishing line. You talked about his speed, you talked about his courage, you talked about his focus and experience. And I think at some point when he received a stick, I think he was close to 3 meters behind from the person in front of him, but he managed to finish in the to be the first one on the finishing line.
Yes, we have to understand this in context. I know people when they look, think of his personal best. He's a 10-2 runner, a 20.3 runner, and a 20.4 runner. I mean, and when you look at the kids that is up against, 2 meters away, he can still beat them, because when you look at the personal best performances of this athlete,
yes,
it shows where he is, the level he's at. And it was wise of them to get him to anchor the team, because if he was somewhere, was the one who was going to anchor going to be able to catch up with these young guys? No, because they're at a higher level than the others. But Sibusiso is at a different level than everybody else. So, wow, great thing. It's a great competition. It's very, very good for us to see.
I think the noise is from the team. The noise we're hearing is from the team from the police final. And you can see there far from on our right, you can see Swazibolt in the company of Msidi taking pictures, of course, next to the MC of the day. Everyone is impressed with that performance.
It's very impressive. It's something that you expect from an athlete of this caliber. This is what is going to deliver. This is what is going to deliver.
Wow.
It's
really
been
great. Quite a good day.
Yeah.
Mabuza, what a day it's been.
And of course it also shows what we are talking about. When these kids came back from Botswana with a time of 42, the question that I asked Sibusiso himself when they're on the track was, what if he's in that team? Can they not challenge the national record? Can they not go sub 39?
Wow.
You see. So that's something as a country that we need to think about and think of supporting these guys.
If I have to look at the medals, coach, when we look at in terms of 100 meters, 200 meters, you look at even in the relays we just watched, the likes of Specific and Subsiso, they are from police. The club itself, the police athletics team, what have they done? Or what do they do? Teams
okay, firstly we don't know what's in Mbili to start with.
Yes.
With the medal count. Because you still have got MAC coming with silver and bronze.
Oh, silver and bronze, yes.
You see, position 2 and 3.
2 and 3, yes.
And then you've got the police coming with gold. So we still haven't yet reached the count. But now the police team is great, and it's great to know that also the base, the athletes, they know each other, they work together, they work together for quite some time. And of course, I think what I've seen today, when I look at the medal bracket, I think it's been nicely spread. We have got also Nhlangano getting medals, you also have got Izedi getting medals, you also have got Great Lesotho getting medals. I'll leave Manzini out at this moment because they train here and they are really drilled and all that. But the fact that we have got these medals spread out is really, really great. I'm sure if we can get the GS and just give us something, it would be interesting to see really which team is ahead. You see Mhlatan as well. They are getting medals. They got medals in high jump. They got medals also in the javelin, in the shot put, like we saw there. One from Nhlangano and also the rest going to Mhlatan. So it shows that the general performance, the teams are almost at the same level. Of course, the RSP team, they're able to dominate in the women category greatly more than in the men. It's something that is wonderful because what they have.
Coach, sorry to catch you. I think the noise and the process you are hearing, I think is the police team uploading their athletes, and I think they're quite happy with what happened. Now, next in line, coach, there is a stage being lined up there on our right. What are we expecting?
Yes. The stage right in front of us.
Yeah, on the right far corner.
Okay. That's where they are working with the medals, on the medals, preparing to our for the medal ceremony. So that's what that stage is for. And what we have there, I think we have got the watch there, which is the timer of the race, like what time have they done and all that. So it does get to pick the number one.
Yes. Wow, it's been a day.
Yeah, what a race it has been.
It's been
really.
a race. And I
What
think
a race
everyone
it has
is quite, I mean, gratified or taken by the moment we just witnessed. But, Coach, if I'm not mistaken, there is a 400 being, displayed there in the corner. I think
yes, it's 4x4. It's 4x4 that you're going to have. Like see what I've talked about. So it's with the boys, and it's wonderful because we look like when you go to Birmingham. It would be great if he could take that boy, the boys team, being there as the senior, being there as the mentor athlete, and working with these boys, pushing the relay. Because like we have seen here, it's second to none what we have seen. The changeover, the speed and all that. To have one relay team, it would be wonderful. I mean, like, he has got the people that are going to succeed him.
Okay.
How great can it be for him just to work with them?
All right. The 4x4 coach, women, is there any special talent you want to single out? The one that is on the stage, the 4x4?
I'll take away again here the police team because of the fortunate position they're in of able to get more athletes than the others. And I would like to see how TZD are going to manage in the 4x4. Also how to see the Nhlangano team are going to do, because these are clubs with the young athletes. And of course club with the level of support they have when you look at your correctional and your RSP, I mean, it's different.
I'm looking at also the body language. It speaks to their age. It's a very talented young aged group.
Yes, that's really true, and that's what excites me the most, because I keep on saying we have to look forward. We have to keep our head on the vision 2032. Our vision on vision 2032 is what is critical, and we have to try to get everything right for this vision to be realized, and everything that is in between 2032 and now, it's things that we've got to find our footing in ensuring that we don't repeat mistakes from the past.
The stage is set. Look at the focus. Listen to the silence. Everything is attentive at the moment. The athletes are on their marks. There you go.
Yes, off they go. So here they are going to, each athlete is going to go over about 400 meters and hand over the baton. And like we have said already, the reps team is ahead.
Were you impressed with the takeoff? I mean, I'm looking at the speed now. Anything you can say maybe about the speed?
Yeah, the takeoff is critical, and it's okay. She take off very, very well. But of course, the level that the others are at, being young, when you can see them and you can see the body size also showing that she's...
Look how far she's left.
Yes, how far she has left them.
I
and
think if I'm not mistaken, it could be specific.
No,
it's not. I think it's the same outfit like.
Let me say specific, of course.
Yes, it is specific. I mean, of course.
Yeah.
Look how far she's left. I mean, she's confident as she's running. You can see she's not under pressure. Look how confident she is.
Yes,
it speaks to her body language. Look at the energy. Look at the focus. She has been groomed for this stage, and she's about to hand over.
Definitely. And in second position, you've got correctional services.
Yes, correctional services.
In fourth place, in third place, I think it's TZD, and then you've got Mhlatane as well.
Wow. Beautiful stage. Of course, you're watching the 4x4 women finals, which will be followed by 4x4 men final, which means then we'll be towards the end of our program today. As you can see, of course, look at the distance. This is how far. You talked about the police team being a problem. You talked about the police team being a team to watch.
Yeah, the other team to beat here. I mean, like I've talked about the support that they have, what they can do, the athletes that they have at their disposal, and but I admire also those that are coming second and third. We have correctional. We also have got. I think I'm missing one team now.
Yes.
Mhlatane, I don't see them. Oh, there they are.
I can see
the 200 meters.
of course, lining up, of course, also to receive at this point in time. There she is, Bongia Matlarera, our champions for 100 meters and 200 meters today.
Of course.
Is taking off, has exchanged, has left the finishing line. Now going around comfortably. Now other teams, we talked about TZ, talked about correctional coach. In terms of maybe them, at this point in time, we can't see any surprises. It is police, of course, that will finish first.
We can't see any surprises, of course, but we'll see also how they fare in the men category. It will be very interesting, like we've seen in the 4x1. And what I must highlight, when you see them doing this, and I always talk like the support that they have, I want to say it's very, very critical for the cooperative partner. When you see MAC Manzina Testa performing the way they perform as well, it's due to the support that they had from one time from the Keshi Foundation.
There she is, Coach. Sorry to catch you. There she is, Bongia Matlarera, in front of us. Coach, she is, when you talk about 100 and 200 meters, she is the best currently. Now, what do you now have to put an athlete of this caliber through the 4x4? Are you increasing her speed? Are you increasing her pace? What is the 4x4 going to help her?
Yeah, it's not. Let me say, it's not just like it's training like she's going to gain something. It's competition. You look like, can she manage it? But because of the level of the competition that we're at, she can manage it to do also the 4x4. But of course, having the 4x4, it's a base for coming in the future, because when you do the 200, you need to have such a base running a 200. You'll remember in the second build-up, that Spusiso ran 400 meters instead of the 100.
Yes.
Because he was like, I need to beat my specific endurance.
Yes. So it's good to that in this competition.
Is really, really critical.
Wow. Leading so far, it is police coach, like you highlighted. I'm looking at the focus, I'm looking at the pace. Anything from this athlete?
Yeah, it's Futi. I think she's done well. We have seen her falling in the 400-meter individual event, for her still being able to anchor the 4x4. It's wonderful. It's brave of her. And of course, here comes in second is the team from Great to Soto. The young team is wonderful. Also the teams that are not as resourced as the other teams, and that's where we like corporate partners adopting teams to say, can this be my team? Can I support them? Can I ensure that they've got what they need for training and all of those other stuff?
Wow, we're still witnessing the finishing line for the 4x4 women finals, as we can see, of course, talk about the likes of Futi making the team proud, making sure that a team like
and now
goes ahead.
Now we've got the 4x4 guys coming. It will be very interesting again. We did see how the police beat the MAC team
in the
now
relays.
We'll see what will happen in the 4x4. And of course now we've got the team from UNISWA, which is also a team with great potential.
There's big guns inside.
Yes, they've got some big guns there as well. And the police team, we can see they've got two teams. So it shows that they are really, really up to it. And again, also, TZD, they're a team. They are the team that is very, very exciting when you look at the caliber of athletes that they've put together.
Yes.
And also coming in here is a team from Langeni, from Tlatane. Yes. It's going to be interesting. And also the team from Correctional Services. We see they've got athletes with experience. Yom Tobisis, we see them here. And the athletes that have managed to get the gold in the 800 meters is here. It's really, really going to be wonderful. And last, we have got the team from Elangeni. It's going to be a very interesting event.
Beautiful stuff. It should be our last event on the calendar, coach, of the program, I mean, if I'm not mistaken. We are going to witness the 4x4 under the men category. And of course, our coach being a well-known and a skilled man. I can see some of the athletes, of course, recognizing you and saying, Coach, hi, did I perform well? And of course, you still have to give them credits later on. They're lining up, Coach. And as they line up, I can say it's been, once again, what a day we've had.
The first thing I have to blame you for this, because now my athletes, they need me. I'm not there for them. Okay, okay, we leave that one.
Yes.
Of course, it's going to be a great day. It's what a day to end with the 4x4. We can feel the excitement from the people in the stadium, those that are singing. We hope the spectators, we hope the viewers at home are going to enjoy this.
We do hope viewers at home are going to enjoy it. Now, this is the 21st 2021 edition of the National Championships at Mopsa Sports Center. A beautiful stuff we've seen here from 2 p.m. as we're live here at Mopsa Sports Center, accommodating. Don't think they're supporters. There is no supporters. It's teams who have performed well, and now they have decided to say, you know what, let's just become supporters and support our own athletes. Otherwise, it is still an area where supporters are not allowed. But as a parent, I'm sure wherever you are at home, you are proud to see your child being a part of this edition, being part of this show. Even though maybe your child, he or she did not compete at the, did not perform at the expectation, but I'm sure you're proud that being able to be at this stage at the national level, it means that she or he has a lot to offer. This is a chance, of course, to welcome other sporting codes. You are the first association as a sport in the country to have an event of this magnitude being broadcasted live. So swimming have a lot to work to do, tennis have work to do, rugby has work to do, boxing have a lot to work to do. You've done it and you've achieved it.
Wow. It's wonderful. That I didn't know. I'm really happy. I'm sure of course it says something positive that is being done by the new board that is in place. And
yes.
When you look the excitement and everything that they've done, and I mean it shows that they are going in the right direction. We can only hope that other institutions can come in and support them and support the agenda they are on. Of course, I cannot say it's only because of how good they are in terms of putting this together, but it also represents the vision that comes from your institution, Eswatini TV.
Yeah.
What you guys want to do. I mean, it's exciting because you did not only come today. Through the build-up, we have been an integral part of the journey. And all that. When we're talking Vision 2032, you are really part and parcel of this, because you are there, you see these kids in training, you see these kids in competition, you are still there, you talk to them, you ask them, you also challenge them, you also challenge the coaches to say, what's the plan, what's the direction, and all of those things. So I cannot it's just the excellence from their side, or it's good work from their side that you are here, but it's also the vision from the company Eswatini TV that I think we can't take for granted.
Now, talking about vision that is being conducted or displayed by our national television, #1 channel in the country, Eswatini TV, we also talk about the vision being carried by these young men in the front line. Maybe in as much as we don't have much of a good clear, there you have it, we can see a few of the athletes. Would one say there is expectation from the lineup you are seeing in front of the corner as a coach?
Hey, it's a tough question, but what I'm expecting to see the police team pushing hard with the excitement that they have from the 4x1. So they will try to emulate that. And of course, I'm expecting the TZD team to really challenge them. Okay. Of course, the MAC, maybe they are in with a good shot, having done well in the 2 build-ups. But we'll see how they start. We'll see how the start is going to be. We'll see how they're going to push themselves.
We're still, of course, waiting for the starting of the last event on our program, which is the 4x4 main final, where we have, of course, to expect a lot. We've seen what happened with the women, with, of course, the likes of Futi from a good team that displayed a good performance earlier on today. that have shown. Now, this is the last stage where also for male we have to see an improvement. Now, Coach, maybe there was a bit of a question that I wanted to talk about you earlier. You didn't say much about the Manzini Athletics Club, and I think when you talk about Manzini Athletics Club, even the viewer at home is asking himself or is asking herself, utsini msonela ukubuterane nga Manzini Athletics Club? Why am I asking you about Manzini Athletics Club?
I mean, it's humbling to work with these kids. It's humbling the project Manzini Athletics Club, what it has done over the years. I mean, when you look, most of the athletes from the other clubs, they are a product of this team, and for it to be there and being a feeder to other teams, and when we try, and it also show what can be done with the support of the corporate, because we are not a team that is well resourced like others, but through the support of other people, we've been able to stay strong and to be where we are, and to challenge these teams and all that, and we are okay with the role that we have played in assisting in the development of athletics in the country. It's something that we do happily, and it's also nice to see when these kids come back to training, come together now with these athletes coming from the other clubs, when they come together like with Sbusi. So I'm sure it will be fun even on Monday when we're back on the track, and for what he has done here and how the laughter that will be there. And of course, having talked about the role of the corporate that it has played, when we started, I remember we were supported by Real Insurance, Southern Real Insurance. Now it's Eswatini, I'm sure. And I remember the German embassy putting in something.
I'm going to have to catch you, Coach, for that short background information about Manzini Athletics Club. We can see something that is taking place there, far corner. Now, wow, we are about to witness something, as my colleague Linda Dlamini likes saying it. It is going to be a beautiful one. It's going to be a good one. The warm-up, the importance of that takeoff, Coach, what does it mean?
It's critical. One, we have got to test your starting blocks.
Yes.
Are they all right? And also to test, it's a little bit called to test the muscles. Can you really start, and so that you get to be comfortable with your start? It's critical for that as well, and also sometimes to you've got butterflies in the stomach before in the start, and you want to ease them down a little bit, so it's part of calming the nerves. And so I wouldn't end talking about the corporate without special mentioning the support that and the CARES Foundation and Swaki had given to the MAC to ensure that they produce athletes. Definitely.
Yeah.
There we are going to start now.
The stage is set. The stage is set. The stage is set. We are about to go. There you go. There you go. Coach,
yes,
it is
what
quite
a great
important.
start.
How important it is also to be the first to take off in a right manner.
Yeah, it's very, 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 very important. And of course, you can see the police team. They are far ahead already. And followed by I think it's the team from Uniswa.
Yes. The pace, the distance, the focus.
Yeah, now it will be interesting how they do in the second Manzana.
That's the little background noise, Coach Lesiva.
Yes, it does give them a little bit of a push, a little bit of support, just to give them the oomph to go.
Wow, the exchange has been conducted, as you can see. The takeoff is getting hectic. We're getting into the juicy stuff of the race. This is the 4x4 final under the main category. It is the last event on our program today. For sure, they have to give us something juicy. Mhlangane has taken the lead, yes.
Now the team from Unisa has taken the lead.
Yes, the Unisa.
Followed by Mhlatane.
Mhlatane is following Unisa. So far, Unisa is leading. I'm sure Mhlatane is close by. If I'm not mistaken, yes, Unisa is still leading. Mhlatane is about to take on Coach, take us
It's
through.
very, very interesting.
Very interesting. The exchange is being taken. Now, the exchange has taken. Let's see what's going to happen. Teams like Correctional are there. Teams like Paris are there. Coach,
Wow.
what a view. What are you telling us?
This is dramatic. MAC has just taken the lead, followed by Mkhatane.
Yes.
Can he hold it?
Is this the podium where Mkhatane show us what they can offer? Is this their podium? Coach, exchange of leadership. Someone else is taking the lead so far.
Yes.
Who is the person? Take us through.
Taking
Which
the lead
club?
is the athlete from Correctional Services, followed by MAC, and then we've got Mkhatane behind.
You
And
have, yes.
Yeah, it's tough.
You have heard it right. Correctional is leading. Correctional is leading. 4x4 male finals. Correctional is leading.
It's
The
tough.
exchange is taking place. Is this Correctional moment? Is this Mkhatane moment? Taking a moment of silence from ourselves to see as well what's happening before we tell you as a viewer what's happening.
We've got Correctional, we've got Mkhatane, we've got MAC, we've got TZD. It's tough.
Correctional is leading. What are you saying as a viewer at home? It could be changing the next 3 seconds. It has changed.
It
Who is
has
leading?
changed. It's dramatic.
Someone else is leading.
It's Mkhatane that's in the lead.
Look at the pace. Look at the encouragement from the colleagues. This is now something we didn't expect. An athlete has fallen down. Mkhatane is leading so far.
MAC is taking
MAC
over.
is taking over. They have it. MAC has won. Mkhatane second.
tough.
Correctional, if I'm not
We have
mistaken.
got an athlete that fell.
The athlete has failed. And what an event.
What an entertainment.
Wow. And I think for a viewer at home, you're wondering, why are we quiet? We've been impressed. We've been impressed. We came here. We have watched. We have witnessed. We have felt. What a day it's been. Overwhelming.
It's
Coach.
been dramatic. All the relay races, what we have seen in the 4x1 is what we have seen in the 4x4.
Yes.
I mean, like, we had others in the lead and losing in the last in the last stretch. And the same thing has happened also in the 4x4. Just now, it's
And of course, the athletes being congratulated. While on the far end left of the field of the Mafsa Sports Center, the athletes, of course, who fell is being attended by the paramedics to ensure that he's fine. And coach, sorry to cut you. I think at this point in time, one would say, the injury very
yeah, of course, it's injuries are said, but it's part of the sport. It happens. The athletes, they fell and all that. It happens. We only hope he's healthy enough. We hope he recovers, and I hope it's not that bad. It's sad, of course.
All right, Coach. I think our program has ended here, Coach. For the past 2 hours and over 2 hours, you and I have been talking. As we close, Coach, I want to congratulate you as the coach for the national team. This is a job well done. When we see what we've seen today, the performance we've seen today, it reflects to you as a team, as the coaches of the association. It's been a wonderful day. It's been a beautiful day. The partnership that you as an association have entered in with the Eswatini television, it's it's groundbreaking, like you said earlier on. Few minutes, few words as we close this edition of the 2021 National Championships.
Yeah, it's difficult to have few words when you've got such an event, when you've witnessed such performance. I mean, the 4x4, the 4-point really shows where we are in terms of athlete development, and of course to acknowledge the performances of these athletes and also the coaches that are behind the performances of these athletes. It's really wonderful. And of course also to acknowledge the federation for the good work that they've done. It's really great. And one word, wow.
Thank you very much, national team coach Muzi Mabuza. There you have it. We've come, we've witnessed, we've watched, we've encouraged, we've noted. A lot has been noted. And for you at home, the viewer, you've been watching us on different platforms. It could be on the Eswatini application. It could be app. It could be at home in the comfort of your seat. Everything that has happened here, we thank you very much. We as Eswatini TV, we are welcoming you to say, Sidla Rakamnaz.